Hello. By the way, we have mugs. If you want one, let me know. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Cleveland, Ohio. That could literally be anywhere, by the way. My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Wednesday, October 1st. Spooky season has begun. 2025. And this right here that you have stumbled upon today, well, it's a program called the TNAM Daily Show. What does TNAM stand for? Well, that's the new American media. So we'll put this in the corner of our screen. On today's show, we're going to discuss the Schumer shutdown. We're going to discuss the backpedaling of the Anti-Defamation League that has turned into a defamation league. Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny when they try to take the words and use them against you with common sense and such and such. So, the ADL has removed their, well, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. It's, what is it called? It's called the, I'm trying to get the glossary of extremism and hate. Yeah. They had a phrase putting Christian identity as extremism and hate. And they try to say, no, that's a subsect. See, that's an actual organization that's, they're super hateful and they're a super hateful group and stuff. It's like, you're literally calling it Christian identity. You're saying identifying as Christian is hateful. Now, whether that's a semantic problem or not, you're calling Christians extremist. You can't use that phrase because it's intentionally deceptive unless that's exactly what you're aiming for. If that's what you're aiming for, well, then you got it. Then you're doing exactly what we're demanding you stop doing. And guess what they did? Because they're listening. The deep state is despised by ordinary Americans, by normal Americans. And guess what we're figuring out? We have the power. By the power of Grayskull, we have the power. Isn't that a song from the 80s? I've got the power. All these stories and 100 other things are on today's docket. Plus, the Indians play today at 1 o'clock against the Tigers. It's an elimination game. The Tribe dropped game 1. It's a best-of-3 series. It's at home in Cleveland. So, of course, I do a sports show called the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Let me know if you want any coasters, wooden engraved coasters, $30 a set. There's 4 of them. They're thick. They're Ohio-made wooden. Or if you want a pin for the Unhappy Hour, that's $25. I'll combine shipping. It'd be $75 for all 3 of these. If you want it, shoot me a Venmo along with your address, and I'll ship those out to you. If you want a mug, shoot me $40, and I'll send that out to you. Shipping's included, so that's $10 for shipping the package to you, included there. But we have a million stories to get to, so let's not dilly-dally. Let's jump right in. Feet first, as we, the trash pandas, rifle through the rubbish and separate fake news from fact. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
guide to the truth. thenewamericanmedia.com.
I do realize I need to change that intro. The daily show, or the weekly show, twice a week show, used to be called the Agree to Disagree show. I just haven't got around. Let me put it on my list. TNAM Daily Show intro. It's sort of, in a lot of ways, it's interchangeable. The Agree to Disagree show and the TNAM Daily show. Our podcast is called the Agree to Disagree show, and we'll put all of the TNAM Daily shows there. Please make sure you're following the New American Media on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, D Live, and YouTube. That's at the New American Media. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're on X at American_Media_, and subscribe to our podcast, the Agree to Disagree show, on Spotify and Apple. I think we're on YouTube as well. You can sign up for a membership on YouTube, by the way. It's like a Patreon thing if it's easy to do so. There's different tier levels. What is that? Let me see what that is. Let's click on it. Memberships. Where I'm looking here. Memberships. Okay, memberships. Total members, active members, see more. It's not giving me what I'm looking for, but there's different levels of memberships. But it's like Patreon. It's easier. If you're already on YouTube, you can sign up. I don't know, $3 a month, $5 a month, $10, something like that. Today is the first of the month. Okay, so we do have our Patreon members. Thank you so much for supporting us. The first of the month, that bills. But yeah, please follow us in all the places. And these are the tip jars for our bar. Welcome. Come on in. We're going to talk about all the stories in the news. And of course, special thanks to John Boy, who made the New American Media mugs, our coffee mugs. Right on the inside, white over here, and then blue in that little part there, red, white, and blue. Thank you, John. If anyone wants a mug, like I said, $40, shoot me a Venmo or whatever, Venmo, Cash App, just shoot me an email at Brian@thenewamericanmedia and let me know what address you want me to ship it to. If you want mugs or coasters, etc. It helps fund our program. So let's jump into the news. You log in, log out, log in, log out. What was the song I was singing at the beginning of today's show? Now I forget. I've got the power. Yes, Marion saying music. She likes the music. Yeah, that's from Twist of Nothing. I mean, that's a Chris Engelman exclusive song. But put it out as Twist of Nothing in absentia to keep his legacy going. That's been our opening music for a while. Hello, Kenneth. Hello, everybody else. Shot Glass next. Hey, now. Yeah. Well, first, let me roll through the merchandise I have before I acquire more boxes of merchandise. Let me get the ones I have out. Kenneth, I think you have coasters. Kenneth, I think you have a mug. If my memory serves correctly, I think you got all that jazz. But yeah, shot glasses would be awesome. I've been a bartender for a while, hence the name, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. And it would be unhappy if the Cleveland Guardians cannot get the win today, but I have a great feeling we're going to get the win and force game 3, but got to get it done today. That's going to be happening in about an hour. So let's get to the news. No, yeah, by the power of Grayskull. That is He-Man, yes. Oh my gosh, Deborah Rooney's here. I think we saw Deborah Rooney last night, right? I got to fill in on Toxically Masculine Tuesday. I gotta go like this so you can see that biceps do exist here. Although I do need to pump them up a little bit. I've been a little off my routine for the past week or two. Kenneth has a mug only a mother could love. I love the old-timey verbiage, the old-timey vernacular. There's nothing quite like it. Yeah, but I filled in for Mike Barra, I filled in on Toxically Masculine Tuesday with Mike Barra, Steve Doran, and Blake Wally. So check out that show. We shared that on X at American_media_. Scroll through our posts, and you too shall see it. All right, let's jump into the news. Panda person. Yeah, we're panda people. Panda people unite. Rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. All right, so the Hodge twins shared this. I keep telling you, TNAM preparedness, you need to be ready for anything. Let's take a watch and tell me how you feel about this one. This is, hopefully there's no music here. Oh man, people love this comment. Never allow someone to threaten you with a weapon button. Yeah, it's K or be K'd. Don't shoot to hurt. First rule in law enforcement. I think this is Charlotte. We're seeing a shocking allowance of criminality, and coddling of criminals. A catastrophic coddling of criminals. Triple word score. Bing, 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 bing. A catastrophic coddling of criminals in Charlotte. Oh my gosh, that's a quad score. But take a look. Here's what's going on. You got a bus driver here, and you got this guy that is not following the guidelines. If you're not going to follow the guidelines, you can't be riding the bus. And he's standing past the line. He's in an area that's dangerous to the driver. It's dangerous to the person. It's getting in the way of people getting on and getting off of the bus. You're not allowed to do it. This guy's continuously doing it. Let's watch this unfold. Here are the Hodge twins watching this video.
Carolina, where that girl Arena, that refugee from Ukraine.
Why is there music? He says they're in Carolina, where that refugee from Ukraine was ended. There's a lot of diversity out there, says a Hodge twin.
Yeah, where her life was taken on public transportation.
And this is another incident in Charlotte. It's very dangerous to go through public transportation in Charlotte. That girl didn't have any idea what she was walking into. Guy's here, and he's told to get out of that area, so he's reaching in his pocket, and then he moves back. Behind the line. I wish there wasn't music here. So he moves behind the line temporarily. Then he goes in his pocket. Watch his right hand.
See that? Yep. He's got a pistol.
He's got a pistol in his hand.
He's got a weapon. He feels disrespected.
He feels disrespected, and he stands there and he squares down in front of this driver. The driver is prepared. Of course the driver's got a weapon. He sees the stuff on that bus every day. He knows how dangerous it is to be in Charlotte on a bus. He's exercising his Second Amendment rights. They said they think he got fired, though. This guy should get a raise. From another angle, cameras all over public transportation because it's filled with crime. And he blasts that dude. He's been hit.
Yeah, I can see why they fired him. You think so?
So would you fire this guy? I don't know. That guy squares down and he's holding a pistol. Nope. You never allow someone to threaten you with a weapon. You have to assume that if they're dumb enough to pull a weapon, they might be dumb enough. Here, let me put chat up on the screen. Hello, everybody. We'll get your chat going. Yeah, personally, I'm a victim blamer. Yeah, well, who's the victim in this case? That's a great point, Deb. I'd say the bus driver's the victim. He didn't want to have to do this. You could go your whole life being perfectly content, never having to defend yourself in this manner. But your life will end the day that you refuse to defend yourself. So, who is the victim? Yes, Trash Panda, FAFO. He's got a rocket in his pocket. Smithers, I have a rocket in my pocket. You don't have to tell me, sir. That long-running gag of Smithers and Burns. Epic. Anyway, just a reminder, Keep your head on a swivel, especially on public transportation. Don't be a victim. Don't sit with your back turned to anybody. Give yourself a fighting chance. Don't bury your head in your phone. Head on a swivel. If you sense something's off, you attack. You attack. Do not become a victim. Because look, there's a theory going around now with this Schumer shutdown. They want the military defunded. And I know like the military, it's a little convoluted what's actually going to get funded and what's actually not going to get funded and how much is going to be permanently cut, temporarily cut. I just don't trust the Democrats. I saw what they did in the Summer of Love riots in 2020, where they burned America down and they bailed out the rioters with the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and they were encouraging domestic terrorism across our country. The Democrat Party became domestic terrorists, staging coups to remove President Trump, staging lawfare campaigns to cage and kill President Trump, staging campaigns to set up elections, air quote, wink, wink, so that they could throw him out, so that they could impeach him. I mean, there's nothing the Democrats will not do. And look at the tyranny that they tried to impose on Americans during the COVID biological attack from China, the potentially intentional biological lab release of a biological weapon, a mass extermination event perpetrated by China in Wuhan. There's nothing the Democrats will not seize upon or sacrifice in order to get a little bit more power, more control, and more money. So I don't trust what's happening with this budget shutdown. Pete Hegseth had a meeting yesterday, and I'll play you some more clips of that. 800 of the top officials went to, I believe it was Quantico. Was it Quantico where they had their meeting yesterday? And they released some stuff, publicly. They had a public speech, but I think they met behind closed doors and said, hey, guys, here's what's going on. We need you to be ready. And I think they're talking about, you need to take these ICE opportunities to defend your ICE, your national, not infrastructure, the president has an obligation to defend the country. And so I think what's going on is you're seeing training exercises in Chicago, in New York, in Los Angeles. You're seeing nationwide, getting everybody ready. Fingers crossed, hopefully, for a mass indictment of the Obamas, of the Clintons, and of the entire cabal, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Kinzingers, the Cheneys, all of the deep state traitors. So just beware. I mean, what if there is 10 days of darkness? I'm not saying hold your breath, and I'm not going to tell you, hey, you should believe, trust the plan, go back to sleep. Yeah, no, there's a plan. Don't you worry about anything. No, you should worry about everything. And when I say worry about everything, I mean worry about nothing. Brian, you sound like a lunatic. Okay. There's no need to be scared when you're prepared. There's no need to be scared when you're prepared. So prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, psychologically, financially, all of it. Prepare yourself. Surround yourself with like-minded people, okay? Yes, let us pray for arrests. Oh, what was here? Let's do the prayer of here. Let me pull that up. That's a good one. Nice segue. Deb, it's been a while. You got to come back. I like having your comments in the thread. Let me just search for it. I did share it, but I'll have to scroll through it. Let me just do it faster this way. President Trump put this out. Delivered a message marking the feast of St. Michael the Archangel. He said, and by the way, this is my namesake. This is my middle name. A protector, a defender. I tried going to church and they gave me some Charlie Kirk whataboutism. Well, there's stuff on both sides. I don't want to hear about both sides. No. By the way, Steven Crowder's out there taking up the microphone now. He's not going to let Ben Shapiro be the one that picks up the bloody microphone. I'm sorry, Ben Shapiro. There's something off about you, pal. You've done a lot of good work, but I just don't really believe in. I don't know. Something rubs me the wrong way, but Steven Crowder is out there doing the college tours that changed my minds again. Good. It's time to rise up and resist and push back. Speak with boldness. Question with boldness even the existence of God, for if he exists, he'd surely prefer reason than that of blindfolded fear. Glenn Beck used that quote a million times. I mostly remembered it. But yeah, what I wanted from my church was, how do you defend your flock? How do you speak boldly in the face of evil? How do you stand up when you're being persecuted? How do you defend? Here, just let me read the Archangel Michael thing. President Trump put out, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Here's the prayer, Deb. You said, let us pray for arrests. We'll put this on the screen. Let us pray for arrests. And also, let's pray this. Saint Michael, Archangel, defend us in battle. Because there is a global war of good and evil happening. There's a national battle of good and evil happening. You better be, you don't have to believe in it, because it believes in you. Michael Ray, my patron saint. Always good having you on board, buddy. Yeah. Yes, always good having you on board. By the way, you need to send me that thing so I can watch the Tribe game, Michael. I haven't been able to. I got to log back in. I wasn't able to watch the game yesterday. I actually tried signing up for another streaming service, but it wouldn't. It wasn't compatible with my television for some reason, so I couldn't watch it. Otherwise, I would have got a secondary service. Anyway, here we go. President Trump here says, Saint Michael the Archangel, this is our prayer for you, Deb. Let us pray for arrests, but also, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our defense against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. May God rebuke the devil, and we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Come on, that's a good one, right? Enough. We got to resist the demonic. We have to stand up and do better. Demand better. Do better. So back to this post here. Head on a swivel. Don't bury your head and become a victim. Don't stand around on a street corner and you're looking and you're no, alert, aware, have something on you that can defend yourself and your loved ones. Always carry something. Even if that thing is a keychain alarm where you pull the pin and it screams bloody murder. Well, now you're screaming to help for the 1,000 people within earshot. If you're in a place where you cannot carry a sidearm to defend your life, like this gentleman did, well, what's he going to do? He's going to pull a pin and go, shriek, 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 bang, and then he's gone. So carry the bang device because we have a Second Amendment right to do so. But carry pepper spray. I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can carry. And I was disappointed by the church I tried to go to. And then the second one I went to, I don't know, it was I got canned lectures, canned sermons. It didn't work. Is there a Patreon saint? Okay, that's kind of funny, Kenneth. Is there a Patreon saint? Let me show you the homepage for the New American Media. Yes, here's our Patreon saint. If anyone's interested in signing up, you can fund us each month for, what is it, like $10 a month? I think we make 2 posts a month on Patreon. That's funny. A Patreon saint. Yeah. This is how you sign up for that. There's a couple of different ways that you can support the New American Media. That's funny, Kenneth. Patreon saint. Yeah, that's good advertising, though. I'll take it. All right. In light of the Charlie Kirk assassination, we all have to step up. We all have to defend our families a little bit better. We all have to get them prepared, get our neighbors prepared. Look, if the lights go out, what's your plan? Can you even filter water, bro? Can you defend your house against a couple of people? A couple of people. Well, why do you need a magazine with so many? There's reasons. You want to know the reasons? Look at how many people could hit your house. Look at the flash mobs that are organized where 20 people will smash and grab, where they'll invade a home. Yeah, an AR is a very good choice. I need to get an AR sponsor on the show, actually. Let's see. Deb says, Brian, LOL. I don't know what you were laughing at, but I'm sure it was hilarious. Marion says, yes, and that, my friends, is how you do it. Yes, you defend yourself. Marion says, heck no, that guy shouldn't be fired. Yeah, he should get promoted. He should end up on the police force. Oh, you know what? Maybe he should work in sanitation because he was taking out the garbage. Yeah? How about that? I can't believe you would make light of loss of life. That's not a loss. You want to pull out a pistol and threaten somebody? That's FAFO. That's dueling banjos at high noon. I know, not banjos. It's a duel at high noon. Kapow. Oh, you stole the rocket in your pocket from Chappelle? Well, I bet he took it from The Simpsons, by the way. Kenneth. Kenneth says, Patreon saint made me do this. Super chat, $10. Appreciate you, buddy. Welcome to my bar. The tip jar is open. Kenneth says the Dems have taken the fun out of funding. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Schumer shutdown. Deb says, your Cash Patel last night was funny. You made Mike LOL. I didn't know that Mike was laughing because I was too busy doing my Cash Patel impersonation saying, look, we're not going to re-victimize the women on those Epstein tapes. Also, there are no Epstein tapes. If that got a laugh, I'm happy about that. I did notice that my Bobby Kennedy got a good laugh. I don't think Mike had ever heard me do the Bobby Kennedy. I've been doing shows with Mike Barra for 2 years now. That's a good time to remind you, check out our episode from yesterday. We did Strictly Football. There you go. Bam. Hello, Strictly Football, people. With myself, Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and Ezrael Robinson. Yeah, Strictly Football. That episode is out. You can find it. We also have a podcast called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. That's our podcast on Spotify and iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, whatever you call them. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever, I don't think Mike has ever heard me impersonate Bobby Kennedy before. It was a perfect time to do so because we was talking about the med beds. Med bed. President Trump put a 12-hour repeating video out, an AI-generated commercial for med beds. You've heard the rumors that you can get in these beds and it'll fix your frequencies and it'll fix your healing. It'll heal your body, fix your healing. Well, I guess it could fix your ability to heal, yeah. And most of what Trump does is intentional. Even Kofefi? I don't know. But yeah, I did the Cash Patel last night. Check out the show. It's like I said, it's linked on there. It's called Toxically Masculine Tuesday. Check it out on Mike's channel, and it's also on our X feed. Yeah, the Cash Patel was that is one of my favorites. All I gotta do is cross my eyes and say we're not going to re-victimize the women. And by the way, there is no list. There are no videos that would victimize anyone. Oh man, this is great. Whew. Yeah, Kenneth, Patreon saint made me do this. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, you guys fill my tank so I can drive around. I appreciate you so much. Oh, Deb is saying she's still victim blamer from Chappelle. Okay, victim blamer. You referenced Chappelle a lot. I got to watch a little bit more of it. And I've watched all of his specials, but I haven't watched him twice. Okay, coming up here, this is where I'm standing behind President Trump, and there was some dust in the room, and I sneezed. This is so funny. We're never going to have a president this funny again. President Trump's talking about drug price cuts. He negotiated that, and Pfizer's slashing. We're going to get favored nation status. So drugs that were thousands of dollars are now a couple of bucks. Like, what took so long for this? You know, that's why the system tried to explode. They tried to Charlie Kirk President Trump because he's not all about robbing the American people. He wants to fix things and make people healthier, happier, richer. The richer the people are, the better the nation is. The better the nation is, the better he's doing his job. Finally, we have a boss that gives half a shit. So the president's out there talking about yesterday with Bobby behind him. And then something fairly funny happened.
further, but insulin was, people weren't taking it, I would imagine. They couldn't take it. God bless you, Bobby. I hope I didn't catch COVID just there. Don't you have Paxlovid? Paxlovid. He's got Paxlovid. Give me a Paxlovid immediately. Down.
You know, we could be concerned about Palantir. We could be saying, where the fuck is the Epstein list? We could say, what are you doing bombing Iran for? There's a million things we could have legitimate concerns and policy disagreements about President Trump about. You know, and by the way, the Epstein thing might be as simple as that kind of is all the information that's out there, which might not be remotely believable. Or it's that he's got to defend the president of the United States and the whole corrupt system. It's just a mess. And to unplug it at this point, it would shatter the whole window pane and it would just take down too much, as opposed to stopping it, moving on, and quietly prosecuting and quietly handling things behind the scenes. But we can all disagree about that stuff. That's fine. But my God, moments like this, it just makes, it cracks me the hell up. Favorite clip of the day.
Even further, but insulin was, people weren't taking it, I would imagine. They couldn't take it. God bless you, Bobby. I hope I didn't catch COVID just there. Don't you have Paxlovid? Paxlovid. He's got Paxlovid. Give me a Paxlovid immediately. Down.
We don't deserve him. It's too damn funny. Just on the pure comedic. And people say, oh, he would have made a great stand-up comedian. He's always been a stand-up comedian. He's always been a shit talker. Whether he's on Stern's show or whether he's cracking jokes on The Apprentice or whether he's only Rosie O'Donnell. The funniest president we've ever seen. Hands down. Yeah, he's effortlessly funny. Oh, I'll just make a comment. Funniest POTUS of all time button. That is my move on here. I like to put buttons on Instagram so people press the button. And it works. It works. That's why I keep doing it. All right. So here, check this. Why won't this click? That won't let me click it. Okay, that would let me click. This one will not. Well, anyway, President Trump says we can stop crime by sending in the National Guard. You know, and you've seen that happen across the country. But leftists say we can stop crime by investing in safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender non-conforming people. That's the Democrat response to stopping crime. Who's that? Josh Hawley, I believe. And he's questioning the person that put out this report, or the person representing the team or the organization that put out this report. He's like, what is two-spirit? And the guy's like, why are we focusing on that? He goes, it's your report. This Gregory Jackson. I'm sorry, Mr. Gregory Jackson. Ooh, I have no clue. Never meant to make two spirits cry. I identified 1,000 times. I'm sorry, Mr. Gregory Jackson. Ooh, I have no clue. Okay, good. You got a parody song instead of the clip, since Instagram won't let me share it. Hey, you know what? They wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk. Fuck you. We're going to listen to more Charlie Kirk than ever. In fact, I've been doing that. I think he had a lot of important things to say. So this is allegedly 3 days before Utah. I say allegedly because I don't know. I don't have the timestamp. But okay, if this was 3 days before Utah, according to USA Right Politic, this is Charlie Kirk in Japan. Take a listen, because what you're seeing across Europe could go to Japan, and it's happening in the United States. It's happened to our buddy David Bann up in Ontario, Canada. It's happening globally. There's a global intifada. There's a global invasion. There's a global caliphate. There's an organized plan to overthrow sovereign nations of Earth. One world order, new world order, whatever you want to call it. The plan is afoot. 40 million illegal alien invaders have invaded this nation, because remember, immigration without assimilation is invasion. Tell people that, type that. Immigration without assimilation is invasion. So here's Charlie Kirk in Japan. Hop on.
Do you want school children in Japan to learn Japanese? The language? Of course you do, right? But not Arabic. And we laugh, but you know what? People in London would have laughed 40 years ago in an event just like this. And yet more people are going to speak Arabic in London in 20 years from now than today.
And does London want to be an Arabic nation? Do they want to be a Christian English nation? I mean, there were the Crusades to repel the Islamic Caliphate of yesteryear. It is a ebb and a flow. The tide rolls in, the tide rolls out. You see video after video that I've played you over the past months, the past years, the past decade and a half. In their own words, their plan is to go to a place, multiply, take over, and force you into Sharia or destroy you, end you, remove you. Whereas Christians, you know, there's that great meme, libertarians plotting to take over the world and then leave you alone. That's Christianity. It's a bunch of door knocking. Hello, I'm here to talk to you about the church that I'm at. I wonder if you might have any interest in coming by, or can I talk to you about the Word of God, or talk to your friends and go, I don't know, can we talk about Christ? Can we talk about the Bible? Can we talk about morals and dogma? And oh, you're not interested. Cool. I love you. Maybe I'll bring it up at some other point. I can drop it for now, but I'm here if you have any questions. I'm here for, all right, cool. And then you're done. It's not heavy-handed. Oh, yeah. What were the Crusades? The Crusades, the evil Christians. Yeah, the Crusades were to repel the Islamic invasion, the Caliphate. But the schools taught you differently, right? Christians are bad. The popes are bad. The Catholics are bad. Well, don't get me into Catholicism. That's a whole, you know, there's a whole side issue there. But Christians are like, we need to go evangelize. We need to go spread the word of God and talk to people about it. But it's not to butcher you if you don't go along with it. Now look at what was the latest one we shared yesterday? Nigeria, 18,000 churches, 100,000 Christians butchered and slaughtered in a literal genocide. Now, this isn't a genocide where one side starts a war and then they're like, oh no, I can't believe they're fighting back. I thought it was okay for me to butcher 1,800, 1,500 people at a music festival. Oh, I can't believe they're fighting back. Genocide, genocide, genocide. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Mercy? You're going to call mercy Hamas? You didn't even release the fucking hostages. Yeah, it's a genocide. Yeah, you started a war and now you're getting your ass kicked. Teacher, I'm getting beat up on the playground. Mercy, mercy. Genocide, genocide. Timmy, did you punch the person in the face that's whooping you right now? Yeah, I did, but they weren't supposed to fight back. Plus, they don't belong there in 1947 and blah, 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 from the river to the sea. Blah, blah, blah. We need to genocide them. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so you want to genocide them, but now you're claiming genocide against you because they're actually fighting back. Okay, that gets super convoluted. Fine. By the way, I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Hamas. I'm not pro-Jew. I'm not anti-Jew. Like, it's not my thing. I don't really care what happens in hockey. I don't have a team. I don't care what happens in soccer. I don't watch soccer. It's not my thing. Yeah, well, global politics impacts you. I get it. But look, the point I'm making is that they've demonized Christians as a matter of course. In the Anti-Defamation League, no, get rid of the A. They are the Defamation League. They were calling Christian identity hate organization, a hate organization. But they backpedaled. I'm going to get to that story in a second. Yes, Deb says Trump has great humor and he's quick. He's super quick. Cash and tell. Yeah. Danette appreciates the high voice. I could go higher, but I won't. Hello, Danette. No, I have a great trutho, not a falsetto. A truthetto, not a falsetto. Falsetto. Is that like fake boobs? Oh my goodness, Kenneth. You people. The Church of Siphon Funds. Well, That does kind of that does sort of explain global politics now, doesn't it? Whether it's our 51st state and our greatest ally, or whether it's U.S. aid funding our own demise, whatever it is. Yeah. A lot of siphoning of funds. And by the way, the Democrats are like, give me $1 trillion we need to give more free money to illegal alien invaders. And you're like, yeah, pound sand, that's not a thing. Well, then, by golly, we're going to shut the government down. Okay, Schumer, shut down. You're at a 19% approval rating. You think anybody likes you, Democrats? Because they don't. I see Brian is a victim blamer too. Now, hold on. Wait, you call me Tio? Doesn't that mean uncle in Spanish? My Tio, my tia, mi Tio. Anyway, Charlie Kirk. Wow.
So you have to make it very real, very tangible. The problem is that...
By the way, sincerely, I appreciate all of you being here for... And I do. I consider this... Yes, it's delivering the news. It's rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. It is. Well, yeah, they're either our 51st state, Danette, or we're the 50 states of Israel. Which one is it? I think we've been around it longer. But sometimes it feels like we're being... Wag the Dog. You ever see the movie Wag the Dog? Watch Wag the Dog. Great casting, great performances, great plot. Ripped out of the Clinton storylines of the late 90s. Great movie. But yeah, is the tail wagging the dog, or is the dog wagging the tail? Nobody's been noticing these things more than they are right now. Hashtag noticing. The ADL is going to say I'm hateful. Hateful for noticing extreme influence and the ramifications of that? Yeah, the ADL is off their rocker. They are a defamation league, a completely discredited organization. And for all the goodwill that's been built up of, oh my gosh, World War II, oh my gosh, the Holocaust, oh my gosh, Schindler's List in movies and nonstop every single year, it's going to be pushed in the schools, and just every single year, every single place you turn, it's going to be nonstop. And we got it. Oh, it's sympathy and empathy. And, there's numbers that are out there that you either agree with or go, I don't agree with those numbers. But the actions of Benjamin Netanyahu and what's been happening over the past couple of years, they have completely burned through the goodwill that they had built up. The empathy, the victim card. There you go. There's the victim blaming. Well, the global community and Gen Z, they're out. They are out. They don't like Netanyahu. They don't like what's going on. They don't like the way they don't like the messaging. They're out. That's on them. I didn't do that. I got nothing to do with that. Go back to last year and all of the blow-ups that Blake Wally and I had when we were doing the Agree to Disagree show together. I was always defending Israel, because how are you going to defend Hamas? Fuck them. But that doesn't mean you have to defend the other people either. I don't need to have a favorite team in this lacrosse match. I don't play lacrosse. It's not my thing. Your team, that team. I don't care. Don't force me to pick a side. I don't give a shit. You mean you don't care about Israel? Then you're on my hate list. Okay, ADL. You are the defamation list. You are the defamation league. Anyway, it gets so convoluted, people. But what I was saying is I appreciate you being here while I literally just dump my thoughts out. Sometimes they come out inarticulately. Oh, and by the way, very easy to pull a Rupar. You know what a Rupar is? That hack Aaron Rupar? Scott Adams coined the term the Rupar, where you take out context, especially in the President Trump speech in Charlottesville. And he says, and there were a lot of people on both sides that wanted the statue down. They wanted it up. And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists who should be condemned completely. But there were a lot of fine people on both sides. And they clip out the middle part and try to completely change what President Trump was saying there. And there are some dummies that still believe the fine people hoax. They've done it to Charlie Kirk. You could do it to me. You could do it to anyone. Fuck. I have thousands of hours online. It would be very easy to take anything I've said out of context. And that's what's coming for you too. That's the cancel culture. That's what conservatives are pushing back against. So there's a lot of thoughts that I'm trying to make sense of them, and this is improv. in some ways, I do love doing the voices. I love telling the jokes. Like, this is great. Going on stage, doing comedy for 4 minutes, it's still terrifying. I haven't learned how to put it together as a performance piece of 4 minutes. Setup, punchline, setup, punchline. Okay, how am I telling a story? I'm bobbing and weaving. Are they all non sequiturs? Is it an overarching? Is it overarching or overarching? I know what an arch is. I know what an arc is. Is it overarching or overarching? Is it like Archie Manning or Noah's Ark? Is it like Noah's Ark or Archie Manning? How do you pronounce overarching theme? So I haven't quite learned how to put together a comedy set, and I've been trying, and I need to get back on stage again immediately. But I love doing this on the improv with you all. But what comes with that is a little bit of grace, because look, I'm dancing into some fucked up territory. I don't want to pick Hamas or Israel. I don't want to pick a side. They're both doing fucked up shit, and they will not stop punching each other in the face. They will not stop. And I've grown weary. I've grown weary of all of it. You know, there's people out there that say, turn it all into a glass factory already. I'm not in that camp. But fatigue, hashtag fatigue. Oh, that's been used for everything. Christian fatigue, black fatigue, Israel fatigue, Jew fatigue, America fatigue, leftist fatigue. It's just the act of feeling fatigue of, oh my gosh, this again, I can't do it. I can't handle it. I can't talk about it. But this right here is our safe space. In the overarching conversation that we have, we allow ourselves to explore these topics. You can't summarize any of my shit down to a bumper sticker, a bullet point. Here's one 3-second defining clip. Oh, here's one sentence. That's what you need to know. No, Charlie Kirk got what he deserved. He said, in America, unfortunately, you're gonna have to settle for having some gun violence. Ha ha ha! He got what he deserved. Fuck him. Huh? Bro, we got a Second Amendment. He's saying we're not going to be overrun by tyrants like they're trying to do in Canada, like they're trying to do in England. It ain't fucking happening here. And so when the people are armed against totalitarian regimes or domestic traitors, domestic terrorist organizations, that is essentially what the Democrat Party at 19% approval rating is circling the drain, encapsulating and pushing out and promoting, there's going to be some bad things that happen. But overall, it's a very, very, very good thing. Okay, Danette spelled art, A-R-C-H, but I think it's spelled arching, but it could be overarching. Okay, you're saying arch. Deb is saying it's pronounced overarching. Kenneth says, I'm not over Archer. It's a funny show. I don't know if I've ever watched that. Oh, we have a Netflix story about a fucked up cartoon. We'll talk about that. Raise your hand. Question of the day. Have you canceled Netflix yet? I have not. What? Kenneth, a Victoria that becomes a Tim is a victim, I think, by the way. This is getting rather abstract, but thank you, Kenneth. Shag the Dog? No, Wag the Dog, Kenneth. And it is a classic. If you've never watched Wag the Dog, find it, buy it, watch it, own it. It's a movie you should own. And you should own physical copies of the media you love. Your albums, your movies. Don't rely on Netflix. They pull shit up. Netflix should be the GD Library of Alexandria, under the paw of the Sphinx. It should have all the world's records of all time. The Akashic records of stuff. You could never watch all of the things. Why are they removing things off of there? Have you been halfway through a series and they take it off, Nick? What the front door? I'm trying not to swear as much. I'm trying. Maybe it doesn't seem like it, but I am actually self-censoring a little bit. But yeah, Wag the Dog is a movie you need to watch instantly. It is a classic. Danette says that's why they want to limit TikTok. Yeah, because of Gen Z. Because they're noticing, they're listening, they're questioning. Deb says, yeah, those Blake debates were great. He's badass, you crazy boys. He's badass, you crazy boys. Wait, are you saying he's badass and I'm crazy? No, I don't think so. We were the can sell culture. Yeah, we can sell. Okay, arching, got it. Grok says it's arcing. Well, Grok hallucinate, and I could probably show you. I've been battling Grok for a day and a half, 2 days. They're trying to tell me, oh, Christian identity. No. It's fine that they're saying that. I said, no, Grok. You're drunk. You're hallucinating. It's not okay to say that having Christian identity is a hate organization. Like, no. See, Christian identity is a specific subsect that nobody's ever heard of and has no power. But no. We need to. I said, no. You are putting a bullseye. You're putting a target on Christians when the ADL says Christian identity is something that needs to be eliminated because they're evil. No, I'm sorry, anti-super defamation. We'll call them the SDL, the Super Defamation League. No, see, there's this little girl, and I'm arguing with Grok, an inanimate. I don't know. Have we reached the singularity on Grok? Is it truly inanimate yet? Or has it gained sentience? The merging of man and machine, as Ray Kurzweil predicted. I don't know. No, Kenneth, it's not over parking, but you're saying it's pronounced like arc. I got you. Deb loves Netflix. Well, maybe not after what I show you today. Marion says, I'm on my son's Netflix, so I don't pay for it. Yes, okay. Question of the day. I got rid of all cable in 2004. Yeah, I haven't had cable. I don't even remember. There are some streaming services and stuff and etc. Left flicks. Yeah, they are leftist. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are key players on that company. And you see what they're promoting in their movies and the actors they keep going with. It's pretty obvious what they're doing. Overarching. Google it. Well, do you trust Google or do you trust Grok? And that's kind of the point I was getting at. What do you trust? If you're supposed to trust Grok, and if Grok is, they're citing, oh, the Southern Poverty Law Center. I go, the Southern Poverty Law Center? That is a completely vile and discredited organization that pushes hatred against straights, against whites, against Christians, against males. It's everything I've been battling my whole life. The bitter, angry, venomized, targeted campaign to come after me for simply existing. Me, the guy that's not trying to invade your country and force you to convert or die. I'm not pushing any of that. But the left, the deep state demons, you need to tone down your rhetoric. Well, then they need to stop being demonic. Okay? I played something yesterday. I showed an image or a tweet or whatever the hell it was. It's not that politics are becoming more spiritual. It's that spirituality is becoming more political. There's no running from this. I grew up in a church, and I haven't been a great evangelist for God. I've definitely marched to the beat of my own drummer. I've created, what am I trying to say? March to the beat of my own drum. I've literally been a drummer. I haven't been the greatest salesman of Christ and of God and of Christianity. But I'm feeling called to do better, do a little bit more, and in some ways do a little bit less. So yeah, do you trust Google? Well, that's the thing. People Google stuff. That's what they do. They'll pull a Rupar. They'll take a tiny clip of Charlie Kirk and go, see, look, he's making fun of black women, saying they don't have the capability to do this job. Huh? That is the opposite fucking point that they're making. Oh, shut up, Brian. You just said you're going to try to do better, and you're swearing again. I ain't perfect, okay? What he was saying in that is that DEI causes all sorts of suspicion because when you're not bringing in the most qualified quarterbacks to quarterback your team, people lose faith in the organization saying, you're not bringing in the most qualified quarterbacks to quarterback your team. Yeah, well, we had to get a quarterback from each major conference. Look, we have a quarterback from the Big Ten. It's called representation. It's called diversity of quarterbacks. It's called equity. We need to get a quarterback from the Mid-American Conference. It's a MAC quarterback. It's a MAC quarterback, and that rhymes. Well, look, we have a quarterback from the SEC. It's inclusion. We have to include quarterbacks from every conference. No, you don't. You need qualified, competent, badass quarterbacks to win games. And if you're no longer bringing the best of the best in, you've got every right to second guess and question. Do I have a competent dentist? Is my primary health care provider, are they qualified? Is the pilot qualified? Well, not when you're saying we have the best pilots who graduated from Northern Illinois University. Huh? What does that have to do with completing the task of flying a plane? Well, it doesn't, but we had to diversify and we had to get equality to Northern Illinois, and they've been underrepresented, so we're going to kick out quarterbacks who are better. You're saying that white people are better? No, nobody's fucking saying that. And everybody who's intellectually honest knows it. And anybody that's pushing the opposite is a fucking piece of shit. I'm falling short of the glory of God, aren't I? Gotta watch my language. But it's upsetting because they're intentionally twisting things to lie to you, to then put targets on people's backs. So if you rely on Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC, or the Defamation League, the Anti-Defamation League, they're going to tell you Charlie Kirk's all sorts of bad shit, but they've completely intentionally misconstrued things. I got a Wikipedia story as well, how they're lying to you and blacklisting sources. And they're giving you all fake information, and they're just trying to craft the narrative. Google has been doing that for far too long. Google, YouTube, they try to spin the narratives to fit their agenda, and they think they're the full arbiters of truth, for we are Google. No, you are biased as fuck. That's what you are. So no, do I trust Google? No. Do I trust Grok? I've been arguing with Grok for 2 days, an inanimate object, saying you cannot call Christian identity a hate group because you're theoretically, probably intentionally, saying that people who have a Christian identity are hateful. Fuck you and fuck that. I'm arguing with Grok. Might as well bang my head up against a brick wall. Anyway. Kenneth, if I buy another mug for $39.75, can I get my quarterback? Wah, wah. By the way, the Cleveland Browns are starting new quarterback Dylan Gabriel this week in London against the Minnesota Vikings. How about that? If you want a mug, this is the new American Media mug. Look at that. Support the program. Thank John for making these. Red, white, and there's some blue in there on the stars and stripes. Drop a $40 tip, and I will get this in the mail to you. All the places to drop your tip is at the bottom of the screen. And Super Chats, by the way. Although Super Chats do take a commission, but it's fine. It's good. I like having the extra tip jar out there. I'll pay 30% to have the tip jar open. I'm fine with it. It's fine. But I got to run all these calculations. I'm like, John, what did you pay for 18 mugs? What did you pay for shipping? Okay, what's the total sunk cost? Okay, this plus that. All right, my shipping is about $9, $10. And I don't know where I'm shipping, so I kind of have to guess. Which means some will be a little over, some will be a little under, and it'll probably balance out. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. That's funny, Kenneth. If I buy another mug, Kenneth, are you drinking out of your TNAM mug right now? Look at this. Look at this wonderful. I gotta go like that so it doesn't blink. Look at this fantastical mug, the new American Media, because the old American Media has failed you and it's multicolor. Isn't that neat? Deb has 12 streaming services. Goodness. Deb says, just be yourself, Brian, but don't get arrested. Yeah, that is, that's the plan. Okay, Charlie Kirk 3 days before Utah talking in Japan. I'm going to buzz through the news now.
Tokyo is so nice.
And thank you for indulging me in this. I'm having fun. What is this, some kind of a fun house? Why? Are you having fun? Question of the day, what's that from? Pop culture reference. What is this, some kind of a fun house? Why? Are you having fun? Charlie Kirk.
And that Japan is so great that you're almost in a place where it's very easy to be apathetic. Mm-hmm. Oh, this will never happen here.
And that's what Americans were like, oh, this will never happen here. Oh, we don't have to worry about Kami Mamdani taking over New York. We'll never forget 9/11. We should, no, this is totally fine. We should hand over the keys to the kingdom to Kami Mamdani.
We've stood the test of time. Remember, they said the sun would never set on the British Empire. I'm sure you've remembered hearing that before. It wasn't war that took down the British Empire. It wasn't any of the other conflicts. It was mass immigration. that took down the British Empire. So you must enter with a sense of cautiousness, but also immediacy to communicate in real language, that in real words, that this can have a very serious impact on what people care about most. Do you want school children in Japan to learn Japanese? The language. Of course you do, right? But not Arabic.
There you go. People are noticing. See, the phrase noticing can mean 1,000 things. Fatigue can mean 1,000 things. I mean, Charlie was right over the target on a lot of these issues. And a lot of the stuff that's been used to blast him and try to ruin his name and his legacy. It's, shame on the people doing it for either being stupid and gullible or for being demonic to twist words into the literal that is what Satan does. Twists the literal meaning of things to make you think what ain't true actually is.
1%, yeah.
So check this out. He says, I work for a person. I work for Senator Ed Markey, and we do auto pen. This is a James O'Keefe exclusive.
My senator, we do auto pen.
Do you have to tell him exactly what's on it?
I do it because I respect your signature.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody else. Some people don't do ask them. I've never heard anybody ask, can I use the auto pen? I mean,
nobody asks to use the auto pen. People just do it. These staffers are just pretending to be the person who is the legislator. This is beyond criminal.
It's easy to blame your staff because nobody knows who they are. Even
it's easy to blame your staff because nobody knows who they
if
are.
you did sign it, be like, oh, I didn't know. Get out of jail free card. When I picked them up, when I dropped him at home yesterday.
Dude.
When I dropped him off, I was messed up. Senator's signatures on autopilot. Check out the full report. Thank you, James O'Keefe. All right, so you've read in the Bible about the mark of the beast. Oh my gosh, you're so crazy, right? You're so crazy. Yes, Deb knew it. Anyone? Nope, Deb is the only one that got it. British, isn't it? British, isn't it? Governor. It was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. My dad quotes that all the time. But I think technically it's what is this, Wonka? Some kind of a fun house? I had to tweak it a little. What is this, Wonka? Some kind of a fun house? Why? Are you having fun? One of the best actors of all time, Gene Wilder. Man. Charlie Kirk's greatest hits will live on. Absolutely. Nothing. I've never watched more Charlie Kirk content. And the guy's in my intro video. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's just, I consider him to be a distant cousin I ran into at a family reunion a bunch of years ago. He had 0 seconds to spare walking on stage at a sold-out event. 0 seconds to spare. So he gave me 20 seconds, a soundbite, and a handshake. Compare that to other people. Joe Rogan wasn't cool to me. Tim Pool wasn't cool to me. Charlie Kirk was. Takes 20 seconds. The same amount of time you could be cool, or you could be a dick. And it's okay. It's okay. Nobody owes me anything. These people don't know me. Nobody knows me. Where I'm at this point, there are some people that know me, but I'm not a super instantly recognizable person at this moment. I intend to be, although I'm also fine stepping back and just letting it play out. And I could be the GM and I could be in the front office. I don't need to be in front of the camera all day. I don't need it as long as it is functional. It takes just as much time to be cool as it does to be a dick. So they literally changed the meaning of words. Vaccines aren't vaccines anymore. Christian identity is a hate group. Nobody's ever heard of this little group that they're claiming. No, it's totally fine. No, it's not. You're putting a bullseye target on our backs. Fuck you and fuck that. Name it something else. Yeah, well, that's what they call it. I don't give a shit what they call it. Lauren is here in the comments. Welcome, Lauren. She wants to talk about the Schumer shutdown, so we will talk about that.
It's a coordinated.
But anyway, we're talking about the mark of the beast. Here's digital ID tied to food purchasing. This is Whitney Webb, one of the best independent investigative reporters around, breaks down the coordinated global push for a new dystopian system of control, marrying digital ID with central bank digital currencies. This isn't a conspiracy. It's all in their own documentation. Beware, resist.
Global policy push for digital IDs as the new form of government-issued identification credentials. And they're essentially all based on your biometric data, which can be your fingerprints, your face, the iris of your eyeball. And the idea is essentially to collect all of that data and have it housed or have it tied directly to your digital ID. So your physical ID will be mapped to the.
How would they map Kash Patel's ID? Sorry.
Digital ID. Digital IDs are not really a separate project from CBDCs and this new digital financial system. And UN documentation and also documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, they very overtly state that CBDCs and digital IDs are meant to go together. And without digital IDs, the CBDC digital finance system cannot exist. One of the reasons it can't exist without that is because of the KYC functionality built into this digital financial system. They have the know your customer protocols. They have the
KYC, know your customer protocol.
Know who you are. And so they want to have your wallet tied to a digital ID.
Yeah, no thanks. Get the fuck out of my life. I barely want to do business with you in the first fucking place. Scoot. Get the fuck out of my life. I don't want everything tied to everything. I don't want to ask permission to use the internet. I don't want to be debanked because I took a policy stance that you disagreed with, like they did to the truckers in Canada. Nope. Stop it. No. Know your customer. How about no?
And have that digital ID be mapped to your physical ID through the biometric data collection. So there's different efforts to make digital IDs either as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. There's also the efforts of Sam Altman of OpenAI and his WorldCoin project, whereby you scan your iris, you give them the biometric credentials of your eyeball. They give you a unique identifier, a digital ID, and it's inherently tied to a digital wallet. That is the same model the UN is using. They've already implemented it for refugees getting food assistance from the World Food Program. It's called Building Blocks. It's on blockchain. It involves refugees scanning their irises.
And if you make people desperate, you can get them in their desperate moments to get their mark of the beast. You can't buy or sell goods. You can't eat. You can't have clean water. You can't survive unless you take the mark of the beast. Get your 666 tattoo across your forehead while you're
in order to buy.
How about we implant a chip underneath your skin? How about fuck you?
Food or receive their rations, they have to check out of a grocery store style place in the refugee camp, and they check out biometrically with an eyeball scan, and then the amount of food they have, the monetary value of that is subtracted from their digital wallet connected to their digital ID and their iris. So ID 2020, the UN and other stakeholders in this particular sphere often argue that the reason this is necessary is because of what they call the identity gap. And the identity gap is the claim that the lack of digital ID is preventing people, mainly the world's poor, from accessing essential services, whether it's banking, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare. They claim the only way for these people to be able to access these services is to onboard them to these identity schemes. There's a coordinated global policy.
I think it reset there. On one hand, we need to make sure that, look, and was that in Iowa where there's an illegal alien who's been here since 2012, snuck into the country, has no business being here. They put him in charge of a school board or something. I think that story's in the stack. And he's registered to vote in multiple places, and he's been voting in multiple places. We need to stop non-residents from screwing up our votes. The same thing the left claims, oh, that never happens. That's never happened ever. It's nope, never changed an election. Nope. By the way, we'll never allow checking IDs to make sure the right people are voting. Come on. We need digital IUD. I spun off like 15 side jokes off of that, but I'm just going to let it go. Yeah, this stuff is super creepy and you need to know about it. And that's what Palantir is. You need to watch Trump and you need to watch the team that's pushing for stuff. Okay, Mike Cernovich, who's also in my show intro, says, oh, take a listen to Keir Starmer and his words.
And conference. If you say or imply that people cannot be English or British because of the colour of their skin, that mixed heritage families owe you an explanation, that people who've lived here for generations, raised their children here, built their lives here, working in our schools, our hospitals, running businesses, are our neighbours. If you say they should now be deported, then mark my words, we will fight you with everything we have, because you are the enemy of national renewal.
We will fight you. You are the enemy. Peter Lloyd kind of tweaked this sentence here.
And conference. If you say or imply that people cannot be English or British.
So Peter here is saying that foreign people, if you say or imply that foreign people can't be British, then we'll fight you with everything we have. Starmer's just saying people. And he's saying color your skin. No, it's if you invaded the country, you didn't go through the proper channels, you have no right to be there, you need to leave. That's not the essence of being British. In this government allowing the invasion and overthrow of their nation to change the culture of their society without the consent of the people who reside there, Keir Starmer is the least popular prime minister that they have. Yeah, the comments. Did he just declare war on natural-born English citizens? He's trying to replace natural-born English citizens. Old School Fanatic says natural-born Brits better take their country back before it's too late. They're trying to give it away. This clearly, Matt says, I go to China. I Chinaman now. That's not how it works. It's decades of shared experiences, shared value systems. There's nothing compatible about Sharia law with English common law. There's not. There's nothing compatible with Sharia law and the United States Bill of Rights or Constitution, our civil liberties. They're incompatible. They don't mix. They don't combine. They're Lego blocks that will not stack. Keir Starmer, everybody. Maxine Waters being called out because the Democrats have chosen. Here, let's go to the troll here. Lauren, hello, troll. We get these all the time. They get paid per post. We're on their watch list, so they come over to our channel and post these comments. That's fine. The YouTube views count just the same. She says, Laura, Republicans hold a majority in all three branches of government. When you say a majority in all three branches of government, do you mean they have the majority necessary to pass legislation? Or are you being intentionally deceptive? Are you pulling an Aaron Rupar? You're trying to pull a Rupar, aren't you? Aren't you pulling a Rupar? You are. You're pulling a Rupar, aren't you? See, she says Republicans hold a majority in all three branches of government. Okay. Does that mean that the numbers of Republicans are able to pass the laws? No. Because the Democrat obstructionists are intentionally tanking this. They've decided they would rather shut the government down than go along with the governing body who was elected by the people of the United States to govern this country. You think that the Democrat Party should be stopping what the elected party has put forward as a budget. You rubber stamp it. You have no fucking hand. I have no hand, Jerry. No hand. You don't have the ability to negotiate. You don't have the numbers. You don't have the support of the people behind you. This is where you rubber stamp and move along. This is the Schumer shutdown, and you fucking know it. Disingenuous piece of shit post here. Most people understand the shutdown is due to the GOP incompetence. No, they don't. This is the Schumer shutdown. We want $1.5 trillion so that we can give illegal alien invaders all of our money. No, we don't, and no, we won't. Look at this disingenuous bullshit post here. The last shutdown was 2018. Republicans also controlled all three branches in 2018. Do they have the votes to do all the legislation, or were the Democrat obstructionists doing anything they could to block any single Trump move that he made? They've been doing it since Trump hit the scene. And you know what? It's not even about Trump. It's about anybody opposing the Democrat deep state. So take your bullshit post and get you gone. You shot and killed Charlie Kirk, the nice guy. Now you get me. No, I don't suffer fools as well. I know it's a tactic. I know it's a good way to debate. I get it. It's superior. It's better. It's more Christian. I get it. I'm just not wired that way. You lost the nicest debater around because you blew his fucking neck apart. You assholes. You can't blame me for that. I didn't do that. By the way, he was raised in a MAGA family. Don't you know that? He was a MAGA. Yeah, it was your team that took him out. So this lady here approaches Maxine Waters. Term limits, anybody?
Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown, because if the government does shut down, Americans...
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying...
Yeah, you are prioritizing, and you think the American people back you, and they don't.
Simply, we want to keep the government open, and we want to work with the Republicans.
That's not what you're doing. If you wanted to keep the government open and work with Republicans, you acquiesce to the majority and move along. You rubber stamp it and go. Rubber stamp it
and have a bipartisan agreement to keep.
Bipartisan means bullshit. Run from the, whoa, it's bipartisan. That's a coin flip chance of that being a huge red flag when you hear the word bipartisan out of these crooks.
Keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
For everybody. Yeah, you don't go to a restaurant and pick up the tab for everybody. That's not how anything works, Maxine Waters. This is a purely Democrat problem, the Schumer shutdown.
We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on.
That's what you're pushing on. Yeah, you're stealing money from Americans to give it to invaders. No.
What you're trying to do...
No, she's not trying to. She successfully did.
...is you're standing here...
She is standing there.
...and you're trying to make me...
No, she's not trying to make anything.
...say that somehow we're going to put non-citizens over Americans.
You're stealing from Americans to give money to illegal alien invaders. Americans loathe the Democrat Party because we see what you've done.
Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we don't need.
No,
you're divisive.
Questions.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no,
you're being divisive. No.
You're being divisive. I want to shut the government down, but you're being divisive for calling me out on it. Thank you. Oh, the Democrats are the worst.
Please, you don't need to ask that question. You're just trying to get controversy here.
You're trying to get controversy. No, we're trying to call you out and correctly identify who is responsible for the Schumer shutdown. It's your dirty Dems. Damn you, dirty Dems.
Gonna get it from me. We want to save health care for all people.
For all people. We want to save dinner for everyone in the restaurant. Okay, put it on your own fucking credit card tab and don't reach in my pocket for it. I didn't agree to that. We're not going to agree to that. I just want dinner for everyone. Then pay for it. That's what we're trying to do with $1 trillion. No, we're not doing it. You want to take the Democrat, you want to find $1.5 trillion from the DNC to fund it? I don't even know if I'd accept it at that point, but then we could talk. No, you're trying to steal from the American people. American veterans need help. American mothers, American fathers, American children need help. That's who gets help in America. You've intentionally flooded this country with non-citizens.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Appreciate it. Do Democrats...
That was awesome. Maxine Waters loses it. So Elon Musk announced that he's canceled his Netflix subscription after they promoted transgenderism for 7-year-olds in a new show. In addition, the writer of the Netflix show mocked Charlie Kirk's assassination. Let's all give Elon a big thank you for bringing attention to this. So, hey, thank you for your attention to this matter. Here's Steven Crowder. He's back. The left is violent. Changed my mind.
Let's go!
There you go. Yay. Oh, they blocked out the license plate here in the picture, but they did show it on the video. They should have just taken it off for this. Yeah, the left started something they'll never be able to contain. Time to double down button. Yeah. The left can't silence us, says the right-winged angel. They know their ideas can't stand up to scrutiny. If they want us to stop talking, they should try beating us in a debate, and that'll never happen. Good job, Stephen. Check out the interview where I interviewed Steve Louder with Crowder CEO Gerald A. Morgan Jr. Last year in the Milwaukee Republican. So here's this video from Baltimore, Maryland from September 29th. A bouncer chokes out a college student. Now, if this fit the media narrative, they would say white bouncer chokes out innocent black college student or something. That would be the narrative they push. But this is a huge black dude choking out a little white dude. Watch this video. So we're showing you a few different videos. Number one, right off the bat, I have sympathy for bouncers. ICE, Immigration's Customs Enforcement, they're just bouncers. And I respect bouncers. We need bouncers checking IDs at nightclubs. So here's a note for preparedness. TNAM preparedness. Dun, 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 dun. It's probably never a good idea to get that close to a bouncer. You should take half a step back. If they're advancing on you, you should take a cue. He's a little too close. But I don't see him do anything here that warrants what you're about to see. Viral video outside of Federal Hill Business. Here you go.
Sure. And good night. Good night. And set the side con.
And he's tapping out. He's tapping out. He's like, okay. Bouncer's not having it. The bouncer continues. This is the equivalent. True or false? Agree or disagree? Okay, hold on. I'm developing my thought here. I didn't know how I was going to take this, but do you agree or disagree that this is the equivalent of the George Floyd situation? When the guy goes unresponsive or stops resisting, you get the fuck off of him. Okay? I understand that bouncers have this technique. Some of them are trained to tap people out. It's an MMA thing. But when you tap out, you got to stop. That was the biggest complaint with George Floyd. The guy stopped moving. Get off his neck. Get off his back. Get off his shoulders, because it was like right here, neck, back, shoulders. The guy's not moving. Get off of him. And I've said this before. You don't know if someone's playing possum, if they're gonna launch at you again. Who knows what under what substances they could be, intoxicated with. So I've called for the lesson to be learned from George Floyd is when you have a situation like that and you have somebody going unresponsive or whatever, have something in your patrol car where you can hog tie the person. You get them handcuffed, you hog tie the hands, you clasp the legs at the ankles, and you loop them around the cop car tire. And if they're going to flop around and let them do whatever they're going to do, but don't involve yourself in it where liability could be placed on the hands of the cops. I think that's a great lesson that we should learn. I don't know that I have the best ideas. They say, sir, a lot of people say you have the best ideas. I think I have great ideas a lot of times. I'm the idea guy. I need some more execution people. You mean, no, I don't mean execution. I mean, I need more people that I can hire that can go, hey, here's what I want the show intro to be. Knock this out. And they'd have it done in an hour. For me, it sits on my to-do list for months. So with more funding, I'll be able to hire more people so that I can coordinate and orchestrate. And I don't need to be doing everything all the time. But I have great ideas. This guy's tapping out. At that point, we're crossing a line. If you continue choking somebody out after they've tapped out in MMA, you're going to fucking jail, buddy. You have crossed into dangerous territory. You could end a life this way, but it continues.
You're done for these guys. It's turning. Hey.
And by the way, we don't have the full video. I don't know what was happening prior to this. Although, can you envision a scenario where something that would have happened would grant a license to allow this? It's kind of hard to imagine here. I didn't see this guy attack that bouncer in any way. He turned purple.
He tapped. Let him go.
And he knocks out the window of the car with this dude's head. Fuck this bouncer.
Yo, chill out. All right.
I don't know, man. What do you say? What do you say on that one? That was a little much. I think. Robbie Starbuck here. It shows this Daily Mail health story. Daily Mail says COVID vaccines might raise the risk of cancer. Contentious study claims as it links jabs to 6 forms of disease, including breast and prostate cancer. This would be a good time to tell you that for countervailing views on health and elections, scrolling at the bottom of your screen, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control. I know, vibe check. But, you know, if that was a big white dude knocking out the window of a car with the face of some little black guy, you're telling me MSNBC wouldn't be flashing this all day long? Just saying. We got to kind of balance these stories and identify when we're being played and we're being gaslit and they're hyper-focusing on only a couple of stories at the expense of 1,000 other relevant stories. I think it's important. So yeah, Robbie Starbuck shared this as a new study by Korean experts in surgery and critical care claim COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 types of cancer: lung, breast, prostate, analyzing health records for 8.4 million adults between 21 and 23. So go ahead and check that out. It's looking more and more like those of us who were called conspiracy theorists were right again. Maybe, you know, you can get a study to say anything, but it's definitely worth investigating. And if they've reached that conclusion that that's a potentiality or possibility, you better double down on investigating this, and we need some accountability. So here it is. Democrats have blocked government funding, which has led to a shutdown at midnight last night. Layoffs and furloughs are expected. The Republican-backed continuing resolution failed in the Senate because dirty deep state Democrats wanted that to happen. Democrats prioritized illegal alien invaders over keeping the government open.
The nays are 45. The 60-vote threshold having not been achieved, the bill upon reconsideration is not passed.
So it's not passed. And to this poster who came in blaming the Republicans, do they have 61 votes? Or do they have 65? So if there's a couple of dissenters, are you telling me that the Republicans have 70 people that could have passed this with 60? No. So it's disingenuous to try to blame this on Republicans. That's ridiculous. This is the Schumer shutdown. Yeah, I'm going to type that in the comments. Schumer shut down button. There we go.
A man has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for this comment on Facebook.
Hey, UK, I think you're drunk.
You wrote, because they're over here, given life of Riley off the tax us hard-working people earn when it could be put to better use. Come over here with no work visa, no trade to their name, and then there's more people being put out homeless each year. They get top band priority on housing. You went on to say that you did not want your...
I swear this guy was a character in The Patriot. You know, you don't want to adopt the violent rhetoric of the left, but to say somebody has a punchable face or a punchable voice, this guy is literally acting like the king in Hamilton. La da 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 da. How does that go? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. This seems like a cartoon.
All money going to immigrants who...
No. Why would anyone want their money going to people that are not countrymen?
Quote, our kids and get priority.
Has there been a massive invasion, a massive attack on citizens who have been graped? Yes. And this guy's trying to act like none of this stuff is happening. And the guy who's being sentenced to something for calling out the obvious, oh, the sky is blue, the water is wet, also go to jail.
End quote. Although you said that you had no intention of carrying out any act of violence, there can be no doubt that you were inciting others to do so.
There can be no doubt that you were inciting violence for literally just saying objectively true statements. A man has been...
Hey, UK, do you have a spine? Tom Homan gets emotional talking about the Charlie Kirk situation, and Tom Homan's being targeted as well. I'm sure part of my emotion when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, it came on the heels of one of these trolls. You got to pay the troll tax. Came in and threatening my life. It's like, all right, I guess that's the world we're living in, isn't it? Well, here we go. What are you going to do? Cower? Let the bad guys win? That's not an option. But it hits hard. It gets heavy. You know, you got to kind of be ready. It's kind of heavy. And Tom Homan's talking about it. He's a pretty tough guy, but.
Well, look, I'm a pretty tough guy, but what happened to Charlie broke my heart. There's your heart right out of your chest. Me and Charlie talk quite often, and I believe what he was doing. What he was doing is a big part of saving this country. Just like President Trump. For why I came back twice from retirement to help President Trump save this country. So I made a commitment to Charlie and Turning Point. I'll do anything I can to help this organization.
God bless you.
Because of the great work you're doing. Again, to help save this country. This country is turbulent. And I think Charlie brought out discussion, get people to start thinking, keep talking. Because talking is better than violence. The day of the incident, I was in my office in the West Wing, and it just broke my heart. He was such a good man. Just trying to open dialogue between those who hated him. I often do the same. I give speeches, and I know there's a lot of people who don't like Tom Homan, what he does. But we don't shy away from getting out there and trying to get the truth out. So I'll do everything I can for Turning Point.
Thank you, Tom.
Because I think we both just want to get the truth out there. We both want a better country. We both want a country better for our kids.
That's exactly right.
Well, look, I'm a pretty tough guy.
Yeah. Just trying to make a better country.
Bunch of white nationalists push Christianity down your throat.
So this insufferable white liberal lady, which is one of the biggest problems in America. Oh, you're so racist. You don't let me know. White liberal ladies are probably the biggest problem in America. How can I be racist against white liberal ladies? I'm a white guy. It is so hard to summarize people with a sentence or two. But this lady's, you got these white Christian nationalists trying to push Christianity down your throat. Here, let me reset this clip so you can hear it again.
Bunch of white nationalists push Christianity down your throat.
Christianity was in Africa before Europe.
Christianity was in Africa before Europe.
Whoa, did you hear that? The Ethiopian Bible is older than the King James Bible.
The Ethiopian Bible is older than the King James Bible.
Thank you. That's exactly right. The argument that colonialism brought Christianity to Africa is completely wrong.
I'm gonna repeat what he says for two reasons. One, make sure you can understand the dialect. Two, to splice up the music so that I don't get dinged for some monk chanting music.
Why is it?
It's completely wrong that colonialism brought Christianity.
Completely wrong, because Christianity was already in Africa before Europe.
Christianity was in Africa before Europe.
Christianity was in Africa before Europe. And one thing you need to know is that Christianity...
One thing you need to... I'll just mute it. That Christianity is not a European religion.
Time, real loud. Christianity is not a European religion.
Man, you're awesome. Christianity is not a white European faith religion. Keep going, brother. I like you. Jesus wasn't white. Jesus was not white. Ethiopian Bible, oldest translated Bible in existence. There you go. Just in case you were curious. Pete Hegseth. Wait, who is this? I'm sorry, this is Dan Raising Cane, I believe. This was from the big gathering of military leaders yesterday. We are ready to go to war because we have to be. President Trump has put nuclear subs off the coast of Russia. Be aware. Just be aware, everybody. Get ready right now.
Senior leaders, good morning. Wow. What a group here today. I will tell you that our enemies are terrified right now that we are all in the same room, and that is a true statement. Welcome, everyone, to Marine Corps Base Quantico and the first ever Key Leaders All Call. To the Commandant and all of the Marines that have made this event possible, thank you. This was no small feat to put this event together in short order, and I'm glad there's pull-up bars just outside. The SEALs in the corner out there are very happy.
Yeah, they are really cracking down on physical fitness and readiness because we've gotten sloppy and lazy, and we've reduced our standards. That's not healthy.
About that, I regret to inform you there will not be a PT test after this event because I know you all would crush it.
Anyway, I'll just summarize it. He says we're living in well, maybe he's going to say it here. I'll let it go.
Last night, I had the privilege of joining the Secretary and the Joint Chiefs in honoring 50 Gold Star families at the White House as the President, the First Lady, and our nation honored their loved ones' service and sacrifices. Teammates, it was a quiet and deeply meaningful event that reminded all of us that were lucky enough to be there of the serious and unforgiving nature of the business that we are in, fighting and winning our nation's wars. Leaders, we are living in dynamic and potentially dangerous times. Global risk is on the rise. Our adversaries are no longer aligning, they are aligned. And we must align with equal resolve and unity. Even as we strive for and seek peace, we must be prepared for war. Now, more than ever, it is vital that we hear from our civilian leaders, understand where they're taking the department and the joint force, and today we have the unprecedented opportunity and honor to hear directly from the Secretary of War and our Commander-in-Chief. Together, you and I and our civilian leaders have the honor of leading the finest military in the world, and we must seize every opportunity every day to prepare our joint force for the future. I am deeply humbled to serve with each and every one of you. Senior leaders, good morning.
Yep. As we strive for and seek peace, we must be prepared for war. Okay, I believe this Dairy Queen that was abandoned, let me look this one up, because I believe it's a different Dairy Queen. Let me ask Grok, is the Dairy Queen in Utah where the alleged shooter was videoed closed, or is it another location? Because this report is getting out there, but I'm hearing conflicting reports. It's so hard to tell what's what. Okay, the Dairy Queen where the alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson, was videoed at the Charlie Kirk shooting is not closed. Okay, there was a lease expiration unrelated to the incident. Law enforcement has not officially verified it, but the site itself continues business as usual. So I'm going to post this here on this post so that they can
1545.
Update. There you go. So it's not closed, and I wanted them to know it, and you should know it. So if you hear the Dairy Queen thing, you go, it's not the same location. Otherwise, that would be super suspicious. You know, like totally demolishing the assassination site and rebuilding it, getting rid of all forensic information, like they did, you know. Yeah, Trash Panda saying, FAFO, don't put yourself in that position. I think you're talking about the bouncer. I got you there. Kenneth, what happened with St. Patreon? I took a look and something looks... Text me what you did, because I'm glancing at it and it looks... I'm not entirely certain what I'm looking at. It looks like about 270 new active members arrived. That I don't know if that's... I don't know what's going on there. You know, as always, thank you and stuff, but it looks massive. Not entirely certain if it's showing up accurately. Okay, TikTok, here you go. AF Post News says TikTok has begun censoring the juice emoji, which is commonly used to allude to Jews, as well as comments critical of AIPAC and Israel. You're getting a violation because here's the reasons: alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. So a juice box is now alcohol, or it's tobacco, or it's drugs. The comment was removed that Democrats and Republicans are both controlled by Israel through AIPAC. Do some research. Why is that against community guidelines? AIPAC is trying to use political influence and campaign donations, if not threats and intimidation, to get their way. That's what every lobbyist does. You try to at least, you know, make it worth their while, try to convince people to do your bidding. That's all lobbying is. Now, does it get violent? Does it get threatening? Now you're entering into illegal territory. Okay, just a comment of your earlier super chat. Okay. But I did go to Patreon, and it looks like there are now 278 active members. Like we got, I'm not entirely certain what I'm looking at. Anyway, I'll do some refreshing and see if I can learn more about that. Anyway, a juice box. So here's a Canadian woman. Where's David Bann? A fearless Canadian woman. This is in the middle of the street. A fearless Canadian woman finally says what so many are thinking. She interrupted a mass Muslim prayer in downtown Toronto where pro-Palestinian activists blocked off an entire public area. Not because mosques were lacking, there are plenty nearby, but to assert dominance over public space, says Fabian.
This is a roadway.
Leave her.
This is a roadway. A roadway for emergency service. If we have fire or whatever, you're not allowed here. I'm a resident here.
This is bullying. This is intimidation. This is the tactic of domination. It's not assimilation. You have no right to block the fucking roads. Nobody has the right to block the roads. I've said that. You have right to peacefully protest. None of that involves blocking roads. This is intimidation. Pure and simple.
Peace, yes, freedom, yes.
Hey, you don't fucking touch her.
Don't fucking touch me.
Don't touch her. You're the one who's touching her. Don't touch her.
Don't.
She's trying to, this pro-Palestinian lady is trying to block this woman from moving. Oh, don't touch her. Don't touch her. You're touching her. You're blocking her freedom of egress and ingress. You don't have the right to dominate somebody's personal space like that. Oh, I can't believe they're defending themselves somehow. Oh my gosh, mercy, mercy. Don't try to genocide me, bro. I'm just trying to walk on my street.
Don't move where I'm walking.
And you don't come and harass us and then ask me this bullshit.
And this roadway is against the law to block. In Canada, it's against the law.
Are you it's
not engaged. It's not engaged.
There you go. You want the Free Palestine bullies in your neighborhood. Well, if you don't tell them to get out of the road, they're going to bully people.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free.
This woman should be arrested for violating the civil liberties of this lady.
Free Palestine! Free, free,
Getting in her space and not letting her move. This is a public street, a public sidewalk. Out of her damn way. From the river to the sea. We want tons of genocide. I can't believe you're attacking me. From the river to the sea means we want to exterminate the Jews. From the river to the sea, wipe them out completely. Oh, but you're genociding me. You're literally calling for a genocide. It's just, coming to a city near you if you allow it.
These are our roadways for safety and to get to our jobs and to go to the TTC.
I would love to accompany you so you're safe. Let's go.
I'm not going that way.
Okay, whichever way you want to go, you're free to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I will accompany you. Oh, really? I don't need you to accompany me. I need you to get out of the damn road.
Listen. Totally unacceptable in Ontario.
That's David Bann's area. Where's David in our chat today?
Totally unacceptable.
Danette saying Russia has subs near Alaska. Uh-huh. Guys, get ready. Be ready. If the lights go out, what do you think these groups that are preparing, what do you think that they're here for? What do you think they're going to do?
Why we allow this in our government is totally unacceptable.
Yep. So that's happening. President Trump talking about the budget, talking about the funding. You know, it's so stupid what the Democrats are doing. And what if they shut down the government funding right at the time that an attack happens or a false flag happens? Be ready, people. I love you. If this is our last broadcast, I love you. I know, vibe check, but seriously, you know.
They are shutting it down. We're not shutting it down. We don't want
The Democrats are shutting it down. We're not shutting it down. We don't want to shut it down.
to shut down because we have the greatest period of time ever. I told you, we have $17 trillion being invested. So
I like that one. Free beer in Steins. young Frankenstein. Hey, see, I can do it too. I can make jokes. Oh, you're telling jokes? I love jokes.
the last person that wants it shut down is us. Now, with that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like. And you all know Russell Vought. He's become very popular recently because he can trim the budget to a level that you couldn't do any other way. So they're taking a risk by having a shutdown because of the shutdown, we can do things medically and other ways, including benefits. We can cut large numbers of people out. We don't want to do that, but we don't want fraud, waste, and abuse. And, we're cutting that. But they want to have illegal aliens come into our country and get massive health care at the cost to everybody else, and we don't have it. And that's I would say, the number one reason that they want to strike is to get illegal immigrants health care. And, Gavin Newsom wants that, too, in California, and it's destroying California. We can't have that. We're not going to let it happen. Healthcare. They are shutting it down. We're not shutting it down.
So that's happening right now. What is this?
Muslims need to be deported and banned from Western society.
Do you agree or disagree with this dude? What he was saying is that they're chanting, "We're awaiting orders," like an invading army waiting to activate. I don't know if that's a correct translation or not. And I'm not saying I agree with this, but do you agree with this?
Every single last one of them. And if you're going to come into my comments and say, "Oh, Nathan, that's not very loving and Christian of you," piss off. Unfollow me and piss off. Yes, we're
David, internet problems again. You might want to get Starlink. And number two, I just shared something about Ontario. It was a group of Palestine agitators blocking the roadways in Ontario. Not sure if you saw that video.
supposed to love everybody. That doesn't mean we're supposed to be stupid and commit suicide. Nobody with 2 functioning brain cells allows an enemy into their home. You don't open your door to somebody that means you harm and say, "Oh, I'm being loving." No, you're an idiot. Get this through your head, all right? Muslims don't assimilate. Wherever Muslims go, they do not assimilate to the culture or the society that they live in. They have allegiance to only one thing, and that is their own laws, their religious laws.
And they want to change the place that they go to. So if you don't want your place changed,
their religion comes number one, and they are doing everything they can to bring their laws and their customs and overtake ours.
It's what country flag is that? Is that Great Britain? I can't really tell what that is. But the claim is that they're marching in unison, chanting, "We await orders." Be ready, people. We're not out of the woods yet. We are not out of the woods. Remember when things were going pretty well until COVID was unleashed? What if the power goes out? We can't communicate anymore. Do you have a plan? Do you have a secondary location to go to if 20 people show up at your place because you've been ID'd? Do you have a way to defend yourself? Do you have like if I were a bad guy, it sure looks like that's what 40 million illegal alien invaders have been brought here for. Military-aged men to wage war against this country to overthrow it. Whether that's Russians or Palestinians or whatever. Doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter who. And it could be a free-for-all. It could be a WWE battle royal. Everybody fighting everybody. I've long said that when it does finally pop, it's going to be a civil war, revolutionary war, and a world war all rolled into one. Imagine fighting Russia with one hand and fighting off the Palestinians and fighting off multiple fronts all at once. Imagine that. I'm not saying that to like, hey, let's try to manifest something bad happening. I'm saying it's all right in front of us. That's how I read the situation. If I were a bad guy, if I were Obama, maybe the worst guy with his Biden puppet presidency, and you've always had it out for America. America's had it too good for too long. And we're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Okay. All right, back to Netflix. This is who? You Won't Believe Me account.
Netflix boycott is now going viral on social media after Elon Musk himself is now behind this, and a lot of people.
There's music. So a lot of people are canceling memberships. Hamish Steele celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder is the reason why.
Message about Charlie Kirk that.
Why the F are you even commenting on this, dickhead? Your sympathy for any of the families being slaughtered by your weapons, but a random Nazi gets shot? He's calling the dude a Nazi. And it's a public statement. You're such a fucking evil shit. Wow. What is that?
You can read here after.
Calling Charlie Kirk a Nazi is insane.
He passed away. But Hamish Steele is also the creator of a show called
Dead End Paranormal Park, a cartoon for 7-year-olds. It's about a trans kid who runs away from homophobic grandma and finds new support system. Well, he gets a job at a haunted house, which is actually a portal to hell. Like, that's a real thing that they discover in the show. And also, Barney, this is transgender kid, has a pet dog who gains the ability to speak after being possessed by a demon. This is a show on Netflix for 7-year-olds. What happened to Scooby-Doo? SpongeBob? Where you can just watch stuff and kids don't really have to worry about learning some weird hidden agenda that they're slipping into these shows. And then whenever you look behind whoever's creating these shows or the companies behind them, it all makes sense. So parents, be careful if your kids are watching TV because you just never know nowadays. Elon says a few other things you probably don't know. Illegals in America can get bank loans, mortgages, insurance, driver's licenses, free healthcare, California, New York, and in-state college tuition. What's the point of being a citizen if an illegal gets all the benefits but doesn't pay taxes or do jury duty? Great question. Charlie Kirk giving a 9-minute speech saying we don't talk enough about Islam. Because if you don't want your community changed, oh, this guy, this video was tough. This is from liveaction.org.
All right, that sucked.
What's your message today to pro-choice people?
Hear the other side out.
Would you support any restrictions on abortion, such as
1 minute earlier, he's being asked these questions.
limiting them to a certain time during the pregnancy, or would you support a total abortion ban, or do you think abortion should be available all the way up until birth?
I think.
And they have music, but he's just basically saying, like, well, you know, it needs to be on some sort of time. It's tough, you know, good 3 months, 6 months. I'm generally not like, you know, too educated on at what point. And then he watches the procedure.
All right, that sucked. That sucked. Yeah.
And he's shaking now.
Yeah, no, I take it back. I really don't think.
Traumatized.
Just because something bad may have happened, I don't think it can be corrected by 2 negative actions, and I think it is a negative action.
So you're saying you would not support abortion up until 2 months anymore?
No.
Do you support abortion at all?
No. All right, that sucked.
What's your message?
Yeah. You know, and there's thoughts that the reason so many illegal aliens have been imported into this country is because Americans aren't having kids. Americans aren't having kids because it's too fucking expensive, and it's too expensive because everything's too expensive and people aren't making enough money, and the dollar is being devalued in front of us, being robbed by bankers. The bankers are robbing the country to the point where we have to import hostile invaders to continue the Ponzi scheme to pay into the tax system to replace us and replace our culture. Wonder who's behind that. While glorifying abortion. All right, here's Louder with Crowder, speaking with people.
All right, well, was it Andrew?
Yes. I know this is unconventional. Is it cool if I pray with you real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. We've done that several times.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for Stephen and what he's doing out here. And I just ask that you can use his voice as to be an ambassador for your will. I thank you for the ability to have this beautiful day, this beautiful breeze, and have conversations out here. And I just ask that you are present with and bless everyone that is in attendance today, as well as everyone in our country, those who are struggling, and sometimes most importantly to pray for. God is our enemies and those who fervently disagree with us. Even if they want us dead, we have to pray for their salvation and for them to come around. And we just appreciate having this gift of life, that we're able to do this and able to hopefully do your will and do this in your name. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. I apologize because I looked around a couple times to make sure no one was coming in hot.
Oh, no.
But
Thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you, brother.
appreciate you.
God bless you. I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot.
Thank you.
All right, well,
Got to stand up. You got to speak out. Professional golfer Phil Mickelson is speaking out. He called out all of the judges who let Logan Federico's killer go despite 39 prior charges, 29 of them being felonies. This beautiful girl. The judges who let this person go should be held accountable and in jail. Rest in peace, Logan. The violence must stop. Phil Mickelson speaking out. People have to speak out. We've been bullied into silence for too long. Unholy Hoax says, haven't been able to comment till now, but it's been a great show today. Hey, thanks, Unholy Hoax. Any highlights from today's show? If you haven't been able to comment, is that because you had a technical restriction or a glitch, or is that just you've been working and you haven't been able to type? And if you said this is a particularly great show, is there anything that resonated with you particularly? I'm curious to expand upon that thought. Hey, check this out. The dollar won't even make her whisper these days. It's when you go, okay. That's what you call a slow burn joke. See, that's one I could use. I could work that in as a one sentence. I'm going to jot it down. Dollar won't even make her whisper these days. It's a good non sequitur. Just throw it out there and move along. It's kind of funny. So this was our story of the day yesterday. The ADL, the Defamation League, as we're calling it, because they are a defamatory organization, a hateful organization. They've permanently deleted their entire glossary of extremism and hate after getting slammed for listing TPUSA as a hate group. Also, Christian identity. They claim there's some little subsect that nobody knows about and has no influence, named Christian identity is extremism and hate. It sure reads like if you're a Christian, you're an extremist and you're hateful. And people are taking their cues. The FBI, their ADL is training people and messing with their brains. We're not accepting it. We're not allowing it. That was our number one story yesterday. And look what happened, everybody. Look what happened. ADL has now permanently deleted their entire glossary of extremism and hate after getting slammed for listing TPUSA and Christian Identity as a hate group. We matter. It's almost like all you ever had to do was speak up. It's almost as if we've had the power to take the reins of crazy back anytime we wanted it. All we had to do was find our voice. Libs of TikTok continues. I can imagine Charlie has the biggest smile right now. Charlie Kirk had previously said, today, the ADL, who previously libelously listed me and TPUSA as being affiliated with hate groups, said they are going after the OK symbol for spreading hate. What is this saying here? We should do things better. That's why we're moving to retire the glossary effective immediately. This will allow ADL to explore new strategies and creative approaches to deliver our data and present our research more effectively. They're not changing. They're just changing the packaging. The same toxic ingredients, but they're going to change the packaging. But hey, small wins, right? Small wins. I'll take it. Hey, Danette's back. Trash Panda's back. Everybody's back. Anybody front? So they're focused on ensuring that we do what we do best, fighting anti-Semitism and hate in the most impactful ways possible. Are you now? But here's the ADL on Antifa. Well, while some Antifa adherents have engaged in violence or vandalism at rallies and events, it's not the... They're not really normally violent or extreme. That's what the ADL says about Antifa. Middle finger to you. See, instead of saying the F word, I said middle finger to you. I'm being clever like Howard Stern on terrestrial radio. Here's the ADL on TPUSA. They're an extremist hate group. The ADL is a total joke. Always front to back. Nice, Danette. That's funny. This is a great bit right here. I think I was referencing this the other day, but I couldn't remember who said it. It was Adam Carolla. I think this is from his Dry Bar set. Take a listen.
All the progressive politicians want to get rid of ICE, right? AOC, Kamala's like, oh, we're going to get rid of ICE. We got to reimagine everything. I don't get it. I like ICE. Yeah. They do a job. We need them. Immigration, custom, enforcement. What's wrong with that? And I realized, I think it's the name. They don't like the name ICE. Sounds so cold, so personal. Remember Top Gun, Iceman? No one liked that guy. But I came up with a foolproof way to keep ICE. All we have to do is modify the name just a little bit. Just start it with the word national. National Immigration Custom Enforcement. Nice.
That's another one of those slow burn jokes. The dollar's been so devalued, you can't even make her whisper with that anymore. How did I phrase that? Dollar won't even make her whisper these days. These days. I like the these days. But the nice joke, you go, huh? National. ICE, national. Nice. Oh, nice.
Good luck at that rally, AOC, trying to abolish NICE. And it would be a great recruitment tool because you would get a windbreaker that read NICE agent on it.
Nice agent.
And once you got that windbreaker, you could do whatever you wanted. People would be like, what's that NICE agent doing over there? Looks like he's beating on a Guatemalan grandmother. Well, obviously she did something wrong. He's a NICE agent. Read the jacket. All the
That's hilarious. Yeah, just put national in front of it. Oh, Elon put this out. We're talking about censorship and how fake information is everywhere. Whether it's the Defamation League or... Here's the man who runs who's behind a third of what's on Wikipedia. This guy. You found the guy responsible for this meme. Actually, I don't know. Is that mean? Actually, it says here on Wikipedia. Stephen Pruitt. Go check out his early life on Wikipedia. Oh, the comments that I'm not going to read are, wow. I don't know. I don't think I'm being too mean. In fact, Unholy Hook says, I'm volunteering at my kid's school. That's awesome. Using AirPods. That's good. Did you find any AirPods yet? Did you get some cheapies? Some replacement AirPods? AirPods as I clean the library. Your cross-eyed glare into the camera was LOL. Yeah, I guess that's one of the best bits that I do. I need to do the Kash Patel bit. It makes people laugh. I know I could do a 4-minute stand-up routine. I know I could do an hour. I just got to keep doing it. I got to start banging them out. And I think I will. You found one earbud. Where did you lose the other one? Is it somewhere that it could be found? Did it slip out of your pocket somewhere, like in your car seat? Did you check in the seat of your car or on the side of your car? This post here, Jimmy Kimmel. If they don't agree with my opinions, I probably wouldn't want to have a conversation with them anyway. Charlie Kirk says, you don't agree with me? Come on up to the front and grab a mic so we can talk. That's the difference between the two sides of our country right now. One wants canceling, the other wants conversing. One likes echo chambers and the other desires real dialogue. One wants to guard comfort, the other wants to pursue truth. If your opinion can only stand in a room full of people who agree with you, it's not a strong opinion. If you have to silence or cancel anyone who disagrees just to feel validated, it's not a strong stance. Real truth doesn't fear questions. It can withstand any argument. Truth doesn't need protection. Only lies do. Only lies need safe spaces button. I think that comment's going to be big. Jack is pointing out here, let me ask how many different Catholic churches, every circle here in the United States is a different Catholic church that has been attacked since 2020. This isn't random. This is a spiritual war, 528 in total. I've seen Jack Unheard a few times. I don't know who that is. Gabriel Savage, I don't know who this is. So we said, is this true? We wish Instagram had Grok so that we could check. Let's ask Grok. Let's reset it here. How many Catholic churches have been attacked since 2020? Let's see. At least 528 since May of 2020, according to Tracking by Catholic Vote, a faith advocacy organization. The incidents include vandalism that has graffiti with pro-abortion or satanic messages, arson, statue desecrations, broken windows, disruptions of service, spikes following civil unrest in 2020. Yeah, the Democrat Summer of Love riots, and the 22 Supreme Court leak. Yeah, the leak. That was another Democrat thing about Roe versus Wade. Affecting churches in 43 states and Washington, D.C. California had 69. New York, 57. Pennsylvania, 35, seeing the most. Okay, that is true, according to Grok. This post from Representative Anna Paulina Luna says, Netflix needs marketing help 101. Call Steak and Shake. They get it. They don't try to groom your kids using cartoons. They just sell tallow French fries. Wholesome. Yeah, TikTok is... Owen Schroyer says TikTok is now censoring the juice emoji, saying that it represents drug use. There you go. Dan Crenshaw reminds us, in the midst of hurricane season, the Democrats are voting to shut down the federal flood insurance program. The renewal of the federal flood insurance program was in the continuing resolution. We made sure it was because we know how important it is. Democrats are acting recklessly, and for what? We said Democrats hate America. It's that simple. This is an interesting back and forth between Dinesh D'Souza and Laura Loomer about Candace Owens. That's not loading. That's weird.
How Candace built her reputation.
And I will say before you continue, I think it's really important to mention that while Candace was doing that, she was a product of Jewish money. I mean, we cannot ignore the fact that Candace Owens got her career started working for people like Dennis Prager, Jewish, working for people like Ben Shapiro, Jewish, working for Turning Point USA, where she was recruited at the David Horowitz Restoration Weekend Conference. And I was there. I literally was standing feet away from Charlie Kirk when he hired Candace Owens. I believe it was like 2017. It was the same year that Kanye West had said that it posted the tweet that said, "Oh, I love the way that Candace Owens thinks." And that was a conference that was really, primarily for people in the counter jihad movement, a lot of the very pro-Israel American. I'm not saying that these people are Israeli, but these were donors who predominantly supported issues like counter jihad. I know that you spoke at Restoration Weekend because I met you and your wife there in person for the first time when I was working for James O'Keefe and helping him with undercover work, and you were a speaker at Restoration Weekend. And so I believe that you were there the same year that Candace Owens was there as well. So you can testify to this. And I bring this up because, yeah, these are issues that other people have been talking about for years. But I think that it's very dangerous when you forget where you came from. And I think that it shows a really big character flaw and a sign of ingratitude when you forget the people who helped you arrive at the dance, like the people that took you to the dance.
That's how Candace built her.
Some of the comments here. Matthew says, Laura is proving the point perfectly. She's saying that if you take money from Jews, you do what Jews tell you to do. That's exactly what people are pushing back on. 1,000 likes on that. Crypto Guy Odie says, Candace broke ranks and they're mad about it. They can't argue with her, so they're attacking her instead. This is all kind of tied to Charlie Kirk, by the way. A lot of the accusations. I said it. Wolleman says, literally, she just proved Candace's point. Beautifully, actually. That once you pledge your loyalty to the Jews, that's it. It's a cult. You can never go back. You can never dissent. You can never question anything. We can question the history of European nations and European culture every day, all day for centuries, beating it into the ground. But God forbid you start to question the Jews in Israel. Glad we agree, Laura. Says that post. Krista says, so she changed her mind, Candace did, once she learned new information. That's normal, and we're all doing it. Numo says, Candace started noticing. Kay Now says, they are scared. The influence is under scrutiny. I mean, if I could be a bank and just press a magic button and get pieces of paper and get people to dance for me.
Oddly, this is when I say oddly,
that's what lobbying is. Everybody wants to kind of grease the palms of politicians and get people to do the things that you want them to do. That's what lobbying is. So there you go. Here's Candace.
I mean, this has never happened in the history of all of our investigations. No.
Talking about the Charlie Kirk investigation, about 2 mystery figures.
No one emailed us to say that they knew either of those 2 individuals, neither the blonde that's with Shaner or the person that is wearing the blue hat that is with Shaner. I said,
so this person is with some handlers or some co-conspirators, perhaps.
That's weird. Nobody in the whole wide Candace Owens universe of investigation. It was making me believe maybe those 2 individuals are like I don't know, from overseas. Like maybe they're not even American. And it turns out, yeah, I wanted to get to the bottom, as I said earlier, of who that second person was in the photo with his nephew, cousin, whatever you want to call him. And we got just one hit. So this is the website. It's a Gothic underground of all things in Provo. The website Buzzard and Bees. And oddly, this is, when I say oddly, I mean this has never happened in the speaking about a Gothic prom. That is where that person's face comes up, except he's wearing makeup to make him, well, look a little more Gothic. Take a look at this. I'm going to show you the side by side of this individual, and I am certain, can't say 100%, okay, because we need to find this person's name, but this is a match, okay? The ears, the chin, just everything about this individual is a match. But he is as of yet identified as unidentified, as a Gothic person, and he is also as of yet unidentified as the close friend of Shayna Broderick, who cannot be found anywhere else, or people are not familiar with this person. So I'm thinking maybe he also came from overseas. Speaking about a Gothic prom, that is where that person's face comes up, except he's wearing makeup to make.
Okay. So she's doing some research here, saying this is likely the same person. I don't know. Is it? What do you think? Does that look like the same person? I see some similarities. Do you know this guy? Most likely a foreign student studying in Utah. Who is this guy? Huh. Tips at CandaceOwens.com. Yeah, you should check out our show. Yesterday on Toxically Masculine Tuesday, we dug in. We went deep into it. I don't think I fully had the context of the Dairy Queen story but I did say this. I said, the more I'm learning about the Kirk assassination, the more we're digging into it, the stupider I feel like I'm getting. I'm getting stupider. It is so hard to trust reality at this point. You've got to be kidding me. Nice. All right, check out our X feed here. This is our Patreon link if anyone wants to sign up to be a monthly subscriber to our Patreon account. Thank you to everybody who has, and thank you to the rest who will. Pray the Rosary says, St. Michael the Archangel. Archangel. Overarching, Archangel. It is Ark, like Noah's Ark. Defend us in battle. We are in a battle. You're using the same rhetoric that you're complaining about the left losing. Nope. No, this is different. See, because my side's right. Yeah, that's what the other side says. All right. Trump the comedian posted this. Did you watch this? Real Donald Trump posted this. Dollar Store Obama here, or Timu Obama, on this show on MSNBC, complaining that Trump made an AI video.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
It's so silly. Nick Cleveland Stout here says a new document reveals the Israeli government is paying a cohort of 14 to 18-year-old social media influencers between $6,100 and $7,300 a post. Desperate to get Gen Z on their side. Let me run this through Grok and see if this is accurate. I'm not just gonna bash Jews on every story. I'm not going to defend Jews on every story. I don't care. I'm not on one team or the other. I'm against radical Islamic terrorism 100%. It doesn't mean I have to be pro or anti anything else. I'm just calling it as I see it. So let's ask Grok. So is there a new document that reveals Israeli government is paying a cohort of 14 to 18-year-olds $7,000? Yes, a newly released document filed under the U.S. Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, with the Department of Justice confirms the Israeli government is funding a social media influencer campaign where participants are compensated between $61 and $7,300 per post. This is part of a broader $900,000 influencer campaign called the Esther Project, running from June to November of 25, aiming to promote pro-Israel narratives on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. The operation is routed through U.S. intermediaries to comply with transparency laws while concealing direct Israeli sponsorship. They're selling their souls. You know, they're for sale. Just make a few posts, make $21,000. I mean, that's tempting. I mean, it's especially tempting if you actually believe the stuff that you would be saying. But what if that's not the case? What if it ain't? Okay. Well, now we know. Chamath Palapatia says, well, here we go. Wikipedia co-founder Larry Sanger walks him through the site's blacklist. Well, it's 3-4 minutes, but you can watch the video if you want. But they say, do the search for yourself and the green sources, compare them versus the red ones. Now ask yourself if this kind of one-sided censorship is the best way for you to get unfiltered truth. It may be that Wikipedia is a massive psyop. Of course it is. Elon said, that's why I said Wikipedia should be called Wokepedia or Dickipedia. So silly. I didn't play this yesterday, but we need to listen to this father. We need to hold the judges and the district attorneys responsible for releasing vicious murderers onto innocent victims. This poor father, listen to this father. This gorgeous daughter is gone because the Democrats let a demon out to kill her.
How many of y'all have kids? I'm just curious. Here's what I need you to do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids.
Yeah.
Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old, but nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated. Isn't that the idea of prison? But no, my daughter wanted to be a teacher. She finally figured it out 2 weeks before she was executed. And I haven't heard a damn word from Byron Gibson in South Carolina. Not one word. 4 months, no communication. His biggest concern was that he was pissed off about my interview and how I made him look on the Fox News channel with Trey Gowdy. How pathetic is that? That we're letting our 22-year-old kid visiting friends. It's all she ever wanted to do was visit friends. And she literally was executed while on her knees begging for her life. Her name's Logan Federico, not Irina. And you will not forget her. I promise you. You will be sick and tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed. I will fight until my last breath for my daughter. You need to fight for the rest of our children, the rest of the innocents, and stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this. 39 crimes in 10 years, 25 felonies. Can anybody here explain to me, well, how possibly he could be on the street? Possibly be on the street. How is it possible? I could sit down in a room and I could explain the whole process of how it failed, how South Carolina failed, Logan, okay? How lack of communication. What y'all did, you woke up a beast and you pissed off the wrong daddy. Because I'm going to put it out there, and I'm not going to be quiet until somebody helps. Logan deserves to be heard. Everyone on this panel deserves to be heard. And we will. Trust me. My daughter laid on the floor for 7 hours before somebody in that house recognized that something was wrong. And that career criminal, an hour later, went on a spending spree with her debit card. When they saw his face on a video, they didn't have to do a check. He was arrested so many times they knew who he was. They knew exactly where to go get him. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic that I'm here today.
And that
Thank you for your time.
I was screaming in Los Angeles about this. The same handful of dirtbags keep getting arrested, keep causing 95% of the problems in the neighborhood, and they keep dumping them back on the fucking streets. This is not one place. This is a virus that has invaded this country. You lose free-range human privileges if you're going to be abusing everything you come in contact with. That's what the Democrat policies have gotten you. I did mention this. It's just a sports story. Dylan Gabriel, rookie, taking over for the Browns. Yet another quarterback. So there you go. I'll talk about that on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show later. Check out yesterday's episode of Strictly Football. We discuss it. We said it's time. Good luck, fella. The other Browns rookies have been playing great this season, so we have every reason to believe you will as well. This changes betting strategy. Bridget Gabriel asks, which one of these images made you angry? Irina Zarutska, say her name. Feel free to say it in the chat. Irina Zarutska. Bridget Gabriel, which of these angered the left? It was Sydney Sweeney. Did not a peep about Irina Zarutska. Archangel Michael, yes. Elon calls the ADL a hate group. Cernovich says the larger problem with the ADL designating Turning Point USA as a hate group is that the FBI allows the ADL to provide, I think it's proving was supposed to be to provide this training to the agents at the FBI. The ADL is deeply embedded within law enforcement, and they must be removed immediately. That's by Cernovich. Elon says the ADL is the Defamation League. They are a hate group. Most of the smart people do say that. Yesterday, here's the Strictly Football betting trends, if you're going to be betting this week. Benny Johnson said, here's a brutal scene on Capitol Hill. Chuck Schumer on CNN. Take a watch.
Every Republican who's gone on TV the last 12 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name? Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
See, look, that's funny. This guy's taking cues from President Trump. That was kind of funny. Eric Daughtry reporting that OMB Director Russ Vought will meet with House Republicans at 1 p.m. to discuss slashing federal departments during the shutdown per Punch Bowl. Oh, it's about to get good. Thanks, Chuck Schumer. Oops. Libs of TikTok reports this is what pops up on Housing and Urban Development's webpage now. The left is absolutely losing their mind over this. I think I have to read this in Trump voice. The radical left are going to shut down the government and inflict massive pain on the American people unless they get their $1.5 trillion. I can't believe it. It's actually $1.5 trillion with the T dollars. I love how Trump does that. He's reading through it, but then he'll pause on something and re-describe it a second time unnecessarily. $1.5 trillion wish list of demands. The Trump administration wants to keep the government open for the American people. That's you. Housing and urban development. Hashtag Schumer shutdown. So who's this Evan Loves Wharf? Listen to President Trump and then look at, here's Aaron Rupar. That's the guy. That's the Rupar. He invented the Rupar. He's one of the most disingenuous people out there. Whenever you see him, laugh at him. He's an absolute pathetic hack. Pushing the Russian, the fine people hoax. So many hoaxes. I have to keep him organized. And he knows what he's doing. So here's President Trump talking to the generals.
That's what it is. Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms. But we are under invasion from within. We're stopping it very quickly. That's what.
Evan Loves Wharf says, this is fascism 101. It's the fundamental claim of fascism. We replied, so let's try and make sense of this. You're saying that calling out the treason and civil rights violations and coups of the Obama-Biden regime is, checks notes, fascism. Yeah, you're making a valid point. Not. Rapid Response 47. Chuck Schumer on the government shutdown. Thumbs up. Matt Whitlock says the Democrats have lost the Washington Post editorial board on Schumer's shutdown. They specifically call out that Democrats' effort to appease their base gives President Trump and his OMB tremendous authority to lay off more federal workers. The left might have just forced Democrat leaders to walk into a trap laid by President Trump. Left-wing Democrats like the Freedom Caucus before them enter this shutdown in a position of weakness. President Trump and his budget director, Russ Vought, now have extraordinary authority to choose which agencies to close, what spending to prioritize, and even which government workers to lay off. As Trump warned on Tuesday, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible. Reap the whirlwind, Democrats. You are really, really dumb. Really, really bad tacticians. It's the Schumer shutdown. Da-da-dun-dun. Da-da-dun-dun-dun. Da-da-dun-dun. Da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's the Schumer shutdown. Actually, I'm going to post that on X for... It's the Schumer Shutdown. And then in parentheses, sing along to the chorus. Sing along as if it were. It's the final countdown. I know it's stupid. I think it's funny. It's not stupid. Let us be clear. The American people must be willing to fund illegals, healthcare, or we will hold the American citizens hostage. That kind of sums it up, don't it? Hey, where did this version of Chuck Schumer go? Remember this?
This is an anti-fraud amendment.
Oh, back when the Democrats made sense.
Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Oh.
And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Gentleman's time has expired.
It's the Schumer shutdown. Ba-da-bum-bum. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Pete Hegseth.
To remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department. To rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that shit. I've made it my mission to uproot, to remove.
The audio got a little weird there, but hey, C3, inject this directly into my veins. More Pete Hegseth. I mean, this is the way our military should have always been, right?
This, and I want to be very clear about this, this is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops.
By the way, this is just water is wet, the sky is blue. Now, I don't know what the policy states, but here's my position on it. There should be plenty of positions available in the military for people to serve if they're not the strongest, fastest, tallest, most physically capable. We should strive for fitness, of course. But if you're not strong enough to carry a 100-pound rucksack, you know, the appropriate amount of distance, you just can't serve in that capacity. You shouldn't be eligible for that specific job. Why couldn't you work any of the other jobs? So hopefully the physical fitness standards, it's not going to keep people from serving. And when you get people in, if you are out of shape and your health is a very serious concern, well, then maybe there should be programs that help get you on track, that can chart how you can lead a healthy lifestyle and get in better shape. But no, you don't change the firefighter qualifications to let women serve if they're not capable of carrying a body out of a window and down a flight of stairs. You have to be that qualified per the highest standards imaginable to do that specific job. That doesn't mean that you couldn't work in a some service capacity in the fire department, but you can't be a firefighter if you're incapable of doing the damn job. If you can't throw a fastball, you can't be a pitcher in the big leagues. Like, what do you want from me? Like, there's nothing wrong with pointing out the obvious, but the Obama-Biden regime was backward on all the common sense stuff.
Female officers and NCOs are the absolute best in the world. But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result, so be it. It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life or death. As we all know, this is you versus an enemy hell-bent on killing you. To be an effective, lethal fighting force, you must trust that the warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire. You know this is the only standard you would want for your kids and for your grandkids. Apply the War Department Golden Rule, the 1990 test, and the E6 test, and it's really hard to go wrong.
Common sense, ain't that common? More Hegseth.
Physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger.
Airborne or chairborne ranger. That's a good line. Yeah, it's a national security risk. I mean, carrying massive amounts of extra weight, it's really, it doesn't just reduce your ability to fight, it's also greatly increasing your risk of severe medical problems. We want a healthy group of people. That's a good thing.
A brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
So yeah, there's public stuff that this meeting was about, and I wonder what else they had in the background. More meetings. This person, Neb's Good Take, says Elon suddenly trying to boycott Netflix over a cartoon that already got canceled years ago. Feels like when they all suddenly pretended to care about some squirrel being put down. Terrible take. We said squirrel lives matter. They actually do. The squirrel story is the perfect explanation of why we don't want a government big enough to seize our pets and destroy them. I mean, that's how they're missing the point on that. This is actually relevant. I Love America News says Netflix is disgusting Marxist propaganda. Do not let your children anywhere near it. They say every recent movie on Netflix, the white man is the villain, the black man is the hero, the gay guy is the voice of reason, the woman has the balls, the dad is an idiot, the mom is the breadwinner, the children are sexualized. Netflix is social engineering, not entertainment. And we replied, it can't be every recent movie, right? It can't be every movie. Gays Against Groomers. Thousands dropped their Netflix accounts in just a matter of hours after posting. The hemorrhaging at Netflix continued all night. Despite the massive backlash from cuties, they still advertise shows damaging to children and encouraging kids to butcher themselves. Targeted to 7-year-olds. Libs of TikTok doesn't want to give their money to companies who promote transgenderism on kids and employ groomers who justify murder. This is only the beginning. So that's happening.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being
7-year-olds, people. 7-year-olds. Advertised for 7-year-olds.
here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. And
Anyway, it goes on. I don't want a copyright claim for playing that. Elon put this out. Doji designer said, protect your kids and cancel Netflix. Here's your kids welcoming Netflix, but inside is a transgender woke agenda. Beware. Extant Buffalo says, reminder, Barack Obama is the man who used the NSA to spy on all Americans, utilized the IRS and the FBI to punish his political enemies, killed Americans with drone strikes, used the CIA to spy on candidate Donald Trump, provided weapons to drug cartels through the ATF, bankrolled Iranian terrorism with US dollars, utilized the EPA to funnel money to leftist environmental groups by suing private companies. Don't forget Barack Obama. Don't forget his actions. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about this report, the FARA report, about the Israeli government paying 14 to 18-year-olds $7,000 for a post. She says all social media influencers being paid by the Israeli government or any foreign government to promote a foreign country and a foreign country's interests must register under the Foreign Agents Registration Act under the Department of Justice. Foreign governments routinely engage in efforts to influence our domestic and foreign policies, legislation, democratic processes, and public opinion. These governments sometimes exert this influence by employing lobbyists, public relations professionals, prominent business people, or former U.S. government officials on their behalf. Such efforts are legal if they are transparent. Officially enacted in 1938, the FARA, Foreign Agent Registration Act, helps American people and their elected officials understand who is really behind such influence activity. The statute requires persons working on behalf of foreign governments or other foreign principals, including Americans, to disclose their relationships to foreign principals and information about their activities. Agents who fail to register are violating federal law, and they can be prosecuted if their failure is deliberate. Saying this is not anti-Semitic or hateful to any people, group, or foreign country. It's the law. It is the law. Here's the commercial that they did. Beware of the Brit card. You want to know what these digital IDs are going to do? Watch this. Okay, let me full screen it. I just want DuckTales back. Woo! DuckTales. Ooh. Man, what are the words? DuckTales. Ooh. I don't remember maybe it'll come to me. What the duck? Here's the digital ID and why you don't want it.
Can I see your Brit card, please?
I don't have one. I don't have a smartphone.
Can I get another pint, please? Sorry, sir. Your Brit card says you've exceeded your alcohol quota for this week.
Sorry, sir. Your Brit card says you've already flown twice this year. We're having to restrict passengers with higher than average emissions profiles.
You see where this is all headed?
Sorry, I'm afraid your funds have been temporarily frozen. Your recent social media post did not align with the government's narrative.
You see where this is headed?
Sorry, I'm afraid your Brit card says you cannot purchase any more meat this week as part of our commitment to achieving net zero.
I've just logged in using my Brit card and it's saying I've already had 3 hours of internet today and it's locked me out. Can I see your Brit?
That's your digital ID. Resist now. Yeah. You know, for all that the lying legacy media did to push their division through the Colin Kaepernick campaign, to take the George Floyd incident and just burn America because of it. You know, this is story after story after story after story of innocent white kids being killed by black murderers. And the media doesn't do it the other way around. They only do it one way. And it's very telling. Where are the nationwide? Oh, it says roots. That meant to say riots. Where's the wall-to-wall media and Democrat hyperventilation about death at the hands of other race perpetrators? Oh, right. They only twist narratives to make white Americans seem evil while they sweep inconvenient stories under the rug. I wouldn't even particularly care if they weren't doing it on one side. But if you're going to do it on one side, you got to do it on the other. Every side. Or just don't do it. But, you know, the lying legacy media, the deep state Democrats, they have a plan. The Obama doctrine, you got to push racial arson at every turn, it seems. This is a report about Wall Street money manager for George Soros. Howard Rubin was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and torturing women with electrocution inside of a sex dungeon. What?
Get on federal charges of sex trafficking women. A 10-count indictment charges Rubin and his longtime personal assistant Jennifer Powers with recruiting, coercing, and forcing women for commercial sex acts, transporting the women in interstate commerce. The Department of Justice says Rubin took those women to a Manhattan penthouse apartment that had been converted to a sex dungeon, also to luxury hotels, and then tortured women beyond their consent, including electrocution. It's a fairly detailed prosecution claim here. Prosecutors say the pair forced those victims then to sign non-disclosure agreements that put financial consequences on them if they told. Rubin's charged with bank fraud connected to financing his assistant's Texas mortgage. Now, sex trafficking convictions could carry a life sentence here. Rubin also was sued in 2017 by 3 models who say that he raped them and was ordered to pay millions of dollars for that. Rubin had worked for many Wall Street firms, including Salomon Brothers, Bear Stearns, Merrill Lynch, and also for George Soros. So we're just getting those details right now from the Department of Justice, and we'll continue to pursue more information.
I'm standing here on 57th Street.
All right, so check out that report. Daniel Concannon here says, comparing the murder numbers, it's just, Don Lemon said this.
Men who look like you, men who vote like men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. White men.
Oh, please tell me, Don Lemon, your thoughts about white men.
Something is broken. Something is cracked deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence.
What are you talking about?
Are you listening to me? I hope I'm saying it loud enough for the people in the back.
I don't know what you're saying. You're not making sense. White men, something deep in you is broken. Huh. Well, let's compare the stats. Black women have a higher murder rate than white men. Did you know that? According to this, thanks for the lecture, Don. Of the 3 largest demographics, white murder rate is the lowest, Hispanic murder rate is multiple times higher, and the black murder rate is exponentially higher. But thanks for pushing your anti-white hatred. I'm going to decline to. I'm going to decline your campaign of shame. Thanks, but no thanks. You're pushing lies, and I'm tired of being demonized. Laura Loomer says the current scene outside the White House, not a single American flag can be seen. I thought Antifa was designated a terrorist organization. Where's the enforcement? Some of these people identified themselves as Antifa tonight. Eventually, we need to see actual enforcement. Yeah, I mean, where are the arrests, right? DC Drano says J6 was a setup and some Republican leaders like Mitch McConnell were in on it. But ask yourself, why would they want J6? Well, because they knew the 2020 election was rigged to the gills and they needed chaos to forcefully certify it. J6 was the cover to do that. So for countervailing views on health and elections, I've had that scrolling the whole time. There you go. Go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control for countervailing views. I'll put the donation links up instead now. I didn't realize that was still there. This is, was this Michigan Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey on camera explaining why the FBI interrupted official proceedings of J6. It was all staged. Mitch McConnell wanted it to be a mess so he could secure a Trump impeachment conviction for Pelosi and Schumer. Yeah, McConnell's in on it. In other words, putting Christopher Wray and 274 plainclothes agents under oath and releasing the rest of the J6 surveillance tapes will confirm just that. In other words, absolutely no conjugal visits whatsoever for Mitch, Nancy, and Chuck in prison. Let them deal with each other while in solitary confinement. Mitch is a Democrat. It's everything wrong with the government in one photo. It sure feels that way. It's always felt that way, and now they're busted. It's time for mass indictments. And let me end on this one. I have so many more stories to get to, but this has been a wonderful show. This is a great place to end because it's just so telling. I might have even mentioned it on yesterday's show. But this is Joy Reid. Yeah, Kenneth, don we now our gray apparel. I've had that line written for my Moon Saloon project for so long. Don we now our gray apparel. I don't know where it came from. I mean, obviously it's from Don we now our gay apparel, but interesting comment there. Joy Reid gives us the reason why you need to vote against Democrats every chance you get. The redhead libertarian says, where do I sign up for this? She thinks she's making a point. Oh, she's making a point, but it's not helping.
Is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business.
The music. I don't want to get flagged for the music. Joy Reid says they want to take us back to no income tax, no regulations, earn what you want, and family inherits everything. Sign me up. Sign me up. Stop stealing from me. Leave me alone. Stop it. And if we're going to have some programs, you keep them small, you keep them affordable. You don't let the bloat get out of control. That's why the best government's a small government. A government big enough to raid your home and kill your squirrel is a government too big, I say. All right, so that's where we'll pause it for now. And we'll be back again tomorrow at noon here on the TNAM Daily Show. Thank you, everyone, for being here. You know the drill. Let me know if anyone wants a mug. Super chat's enabled. Just shoot me an email with your address. It's Brian at the New American Media. Let me know that you did, and I will get these in the mail. Kenneth already has one. Thank you, John, for making these. Consider the tip jar if you haven't, or the Patreon, or subscriptions on YouTube. I guess that's a membership or something. But yeah, fingers crossed for the Cleveland Guardians. It's the middle of the sixth, tied 1-1. This is just a nail biter of a series. So check out yesterday's show. It's on our X feed. Both Strictly Football and Toxically Masculine Tuesday. Did 3 shows yesterday. Or did I do 4 shows yesterday? I think I did Did I do the Unhappy Hour? I don't remember if I did. It all kind of blurs together, people. We'll be back. All right. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace. I'll try it again. Try to click it again. Where'd it go? Wait, where'd it go? Hold on. I gotta hold this pose. Wait, it should be right here. Where is it? Did I just get rid of it accidentally? Oh, no, it's right. No, wait, where'd it go? No, it's supposed to be right here, but I don't have it now. Where did it go? Try this one? I don't know if this is the right one. No, this isn't the right one. Did I just click the... I might have just clicked the button to get rid of the intro. Oi, with the intros, Kenneth. I think... Well, then I'll end it on this one. I got to reload it, and I'll reload it now. All right, I appreciate you, lovely. I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.